Okay, testing, there we go. One pivotal part that I forget. The mains.
Well, hello everyone and welcome to the homecoming game here for your Ellenwood Eagles. Tonight, the Eagles take on the Sublette Larks. The Eagles come into the season with an 0-1 record, same as Sublette. I am Caleb Bookout with you here, and in the booth with me today is Alex Hammocky, a familiar face here for Eagle Sports Network. Alex, how are you?
Doing great tonight, Caleb. Thanks for having me on. A little bit of a reunion. Last year I was play-by-play, you were color commentary, and tonight it's you on play-by-play, me on color commentary, but it's great to be here tonight in Eagle Land for tonight's Sublette football game. Last week, Ellenwood took on the Lacrosse Lepers in the CPL 11-man football championship. I wasn't there. I was at the Great Bend Andover game and witnessed the miracle in Morton myself. Caleb, how'd that game go?
So for lacrosse, that game, the Eagles lost with a score of 19-63. Last season, the Eagles didn't seem to find the end zone against lacrosse while they were here at home, but the Eagles were able to find the end zone last week against lacrosse with starting off with a big pick six from David Hammocky. David Hammocky scored twice for the Eagles, and Kyler Dole got in on a quarterback keeper. So the Eagles did some good things against lacrosse, some things that they noticed they need to work on this week in practice, and hopefully they can adjust to that here as they take on Sublette. Sublette is not out on the field yet, and forewarning, we do not have a scoreboard.
Yeah, that's actually a very interesting story coming into tonight's game. So, from the information that I gathered from Ellenwood Principal Mark Cook before the start of tonight's broadcast, the scoreboard for Ellenwood, we can't get in a photo because it will get in the middle of a window there, as you can tell. The scoreboard for Ellenwood was last used last year for track, for league track, and over the summer, rather stormy summer here in Ellenwood, the scoreboard did not start on yesterday when they tested it out. The motherboard was fried. So the hypothesis that the Ellenwood administration has is that lightning struck the scoreboard over the summer. It's not the first time that lightning has struck district equipment and ruined it. Last year, the intercom system at the high school went down, and the administration said that was due to the issue of went down to lightning strike.
So we apologize for the scoreboard not being able to function here tonight. I'm going to try and do my best to make that situation go as smooth as possible. Ellenwood still warming up here. Last week, not the hopeful start that the Eagles wanted, but still the Eagles come out here to look for a win tonight. Last year against Sublette, the Eagles won by a commanding lead of 46-0. So the Eagles are looking to regain that win from last season as Sublette came here to Ellenwood this season. That way we didn't have to make the long drive down to Sublette like we did last year.
Oh, man, last year was quite the year driving-wise. You had to go out to Sublette, you had to go out to Lakin, you had to go out to Southwestern Heights, and I tell you, after last season, I mean, Caleb, you got to be pretty happy. You're heading to Lyons, you're heading to Sterling. You've got to head to Cimarron, which is a bit of a far drive, but it's not that bad because the track team makes that trip every year. That's where their first track meet of the year is. So yeah. It's somewhat used to for Ellenwood athletes, and for you guys, it's not that bad because it's not as bad as it was last year heading all the way out to the corner of the state to Southwestern Heights.
Yeah, I'll take the trade for Cimarron to only have to go to Sterling and Lyons. I'll for sure do that trade.
Yeah. I mean, I wish I had last year's schedule. I wish I had this year's schedule last year, Some pretty short drives, and then would have been able to go to Sismore Stadium, home of Sterling College.
Yeah.
Be able to broadcast a game from there. That'd be pretty cool to say.
Yeah, last week Sublette lost to Oakley by a score of 6-31. They found the end zone in the fourth quarter by a 2-yard rushing touchdown by Bryce Williamson, So he was the only player to find the end zone there for Sublette. So they're looking to get their first win of the season, same as Ellenwood.
And last year, Oakley defeated Sublette by a score of 46-0. So obviously you can tell this Sublette team got better from last year to this year. Now then, I should mention this. Sublette is riding a 33-game losing streak. The last time they won was year 2015, and we are currently, let me see here, year 2 of the Trump administration. We're talking, this would have been year, I believe, 6 of the Obama administration, the last year that Sublette won a football game. That game was a 13-12 victory over the Lakin Broncbusters. And what a turnaround that Coach Chris Bamberger down there at Lakin has done with that program.
Oh, for sure.
I mean, and you go from going from state champion Ness City, that's where he was at before he went to Lakin. He goes from Ness City to Lakin. His first year he went 2-7, and he keeps building that program up to last year being the district champion. I believe they they were district runner-up, but they went on a couple of rounds in the playoffs. And, this year they've got a really good running game in front of them, including K-State lineman, recruit, and commit Hadley Panzer as well on that team. So that's something really big to watch for the rest of the season for Ellenwood is who they're going to be running into. They're going to be running into D1 talent. Looking at last week's scores around the Central Prairie League, we'll start off in 11-man football. The CPL 11-man championship last weekend played out at La Crosse. The La Crosse Leopards, for the second year in a row, are your 11-man champions. They defeat Ellenwood 63-19. Now, this is the last year that La Crosse will win the 11-man championship. They will be dropping down to 8-man after this season. That's what La Crosse school officials have said because of low numbers. They're not the only traditional 11-man power to go down to 8, as Meade is doing the same this year. The Buffaloes of Meade are dropping next year as well. In the 8-man realm, not a lot of surprises. Maxville defeated Kinsley pretty single-handedly, 52-6. Victoria defeated Otis Bison, 42-12. Ness City got the victory over defending champion Central Plains, 36-30 in a game that went down to the wire. Not that much of a surprise considering how much Central Plains lost from last year. You lose quarterback Miles Mendes. You lose some good wide receivers and running backs in Alex Hickel, Devin Ryan, and trying to think here. And Brett Liebel, there we go. Probably one of the best players there, and I forget his name. Sorry about that, Brett, if you're listening. They lose some good line players in Grant Heldstab and Mason Dole. And you were expecting Central Plains to have a bit of a down year this year. But, I mean, they hung in there, and they fell in the final seconds. Very respectable there to that Central Plains team. Medicine Lodge blanked St. John 68-0. That St. John team is going to have a hard year this year. They've only got 9 kids going out for football down there in Tiger Town. So really important for them to stay healthy throughout the season. This week in the 11-man realm, Sublette's here at Ellenwood. Russell is at La Crosse tonight over in the 8-man games. A bit of an interesting game. We're going to see Maxville at Ness City. Central Plains heads to Victoria. St. John and Kinsley. One team will get a win this season. We don't know which team it will be, whether it's the Kinsley Coyotes or the St. John Tigers. Last year was Kinsley, the year before St. John. And Otis Bison starts district play. Otis Bison, one of the teams in a 7-team district. They will take on the Buckland Red Aces. That game's going to be a pretty good one. Buckland on the rise upcoming here this upcoming year. They were featured by K-Preps as a breakout team for the 2019 season.
Yeah, last week for Ellenwood, they found quite a bit of success with Kyler Dole keeping the ball on the ground. So I wouldn't be surprised if they come out here tonight and try and do that again. And something they've adapted to their offense this year is when they come up to the line, they've instituted kind of an audible where Dole, the quarterback Kyler Dole, will throw his arm up, signaling to the rest of the team that they are audibling on the play. So they use that quite a bit in La Crosse since the outside run game wasn't working. So we'll see how much they adapt to that here in this game.
Something that I would be interesting to see is to see if Ellenwood head coach Alex Burney tries to do something this week that he didn't have last week, and he tries to use some player that he didn't use. Last year it was pretty easy to do that. Cody Cutter, the senior running back for the Eagles, he's since graduated. Unfortunately, they could use him. He was out the La Crosse game. He was told that day he couldn't play by his doctors, and the next week he goes to Sublette. And, the first play, I think he gets a good rushing touchdown. And everybody's over here on the Sublette sideline stunned saying, where was this guy in film all that we were watching this week? He showed up out of thin air. And, of course, he technically did because he was up in the sideline. He wasn't even playing a down of football in that La Crosse game last year. But then, he moves on and he's graduated. He's attended Barton Community College alongside me, and well, 3/4, I would say, of the Ellenwood High School graduating class of 2019.
Yeah, last year against Sublette, I think Cutter had a run straight up the middle to score on the first play. So last week against La Crosse, someone that the Eagles used a lot was Lane Klepper. As a wide receiver, they usually targeted him with short, small, fast passes on both sidelines. So they really utilized him in the passing game last week against La Crosse. And we really didn't see that last year from him. He didn't get a lot of minutes varsity-wise. So this year he's making that big jump and step here into the varsity lineup. And he played pretty well against La Crosse. He had some big receptions to move the chains for the Eagles. But sadly, the Eagles didn't start out the season the way they would intend to.
But, the main thing is the Eagles were able to get on the board this year. Unfortunately, last year they weren't, and they got shut out. So that's the main thing to keep in mind. They're playing, and they're scoring this year. Last year they weren't able to. And if that shows something, some of those close games that Ellenwood lost last year, such as Southwestern Heights, such as Sterling, they could make those games competitive. They could make those games wins. And, we could see Ellenwood coming up with a 4-5 record, 5-4 record, or excuse me, a 4-4 record, I should say, coming into Week 9. And, of course, Week 9 now being the first week of the playoffs, that'd be very pivotal for Ellenwood's season.
Yeah, and tonight is the homecoming game for the Eagles. The candidates for homecoming for the men's side is Kyler Dole, David Hammocky, Tyler Knope, and Ryan Niles, all on the football team. And for the women's side, Kellyanne Williams, Latasia Gray, Nayeli Mendez, and Caitlin Panning. I will be emceeing for that, so at 6:30, so Alex will be here in the booth holding down the fort for me while I head out and do that. So we'll have that broadcasted on the stream here for you. And
looking at tonight's matchup, let's go through some of those returning starters that both teams have. Looking at Ellenwood, as we've mentioned them, David Hammocky, a wide receiver, defensive back. Lane Klepper, kind of a Swiss Army knife. He can play quarterback, running back, or not running back, wide receiver. He can also on the defensive side, defensive back and linebacker. Kyler Dole, Aiden Ricker. Those are some of the names just in that first half of the page that are showing up to me. And then we get to the line. Ellenwood bringing back almost all their offensive line from last year. Cole Kubik, Aiden Bramer. He's going to have a breakout season as a sophomore this year, in my opinion. He did really good last year when he appeared as a freshman. He's going to definitely get some starting time this year, in my opinion. You also look at it, Dylan White, Woodson Corbett. You got a returning, he isn't returning, foreign exchange student Christopher Nielsen out of Sweden. The Swede, he's got quite the leg.
Yes, he does. Last week he had a 37-yard attempt. Couldn't get it to go, but it definitely had enough power on it. And at the Fall Sports Showcase, he was kicking him from 45 yards deep, sinking him right through the middle. So he's been very good. He actually had some very good punts against La Crosse, bouncing him right out at the 2. Most of them were down inside of the 10. So he's got a very strong leg, and the Eagles have seemed to definitely benefit from him coming to Ellenwood.
Well, the thing is, last week they were able to benefit on him off the punt game, and unfortunately, that's not how you want to benefit off of players. Well, he's a good punter, but that means your offense isn't doing too hot to begin with. Hopefully, this week we're going to be able to see him get some field goals in there, and just be able to bring get some momentum going where you think you're at the 20-yard line. You could either go for it on 4th and 7, or you could have it kicked. I mean, that's something Ellenwood hasn't had as an opportunity in quite some time. I don't remember the last time Ellenwood attempted a field goal prior to this week. It's been quite a while, I'll say that much.
Yeah, last year we rarely ever saw the Eagles try a field goal.
I think we never did.
No, I don't think it ever happened. But this year at La Crosse for the first game, it definitely happened about 3 or 4 times, including extra point attempts. But
well, actually, right now in the practice, speak of the devil, here we are, field goal attempt for Nielsen. And it is. I think they're gonna call it good.
Like, most of his kicks are landing in the back part of the track there, which is kind of crazy when you think about it.
I mean, it's nice to see it whenever you're, we're talking about Nielsen here. He's from Sweden. It would be really funny to see him get not a contract offer, but get him a scholarship offer from Bethany, the home of the Fighting Swedes, out in Lenzburg.
That would be pretty funny.
That would be like that. You've got the kicker from Sweden going to a college football team where their mascot is the Fighting Swedes.
Yeah,
I mean, Where can you see that happen?
Yeah. So, also, a new addition to the offensive line for the Eagles is Garrett Hirsch, coming in at, let's see here, 76 inches. He's very tall. He's a very big player for the Eagles, and you could definitely see it last week against La Crosse. I don't think I saw him miss a single block the whole night. He has a lot of length and a lot of size to him, and last week against La Crosse, the offensive line and defensive line for the Eagles played pretty stellar. They just needed to fix some play in the secondary defensively, but other than that, the Eagles showed some good plays last week against La Crosse, and they're looking to bring that into Sublette tonight and get a win for homecoming.
Hirsch, a junior for the Eagles. Is he a junior or senior?
He is a senior.
He's a senior, okay. He came in at the back half of last semester, played on the baseball team, so he was able to get to know the Ellenwood players, on the baseball side of things. He wasn't able to get to know them on the gridiron, but still able to get to know them, get to mesh with them, gel with them. And that's good to see. You have kids who come in into the district at the beginning of the year, it's always a learning curve, but since Garrett came in last year, he already knew the players, and he was already with the system. He was at weights all summer, and that's one of the big benefits of him is, he's new, but he also knows the program pretty well.
Yeah, he really does. And last year he was at St. John's Military School, which he played football there, and Trevor Bieberly is the head coach for the baseball team and also assistant on the football team, so that helps out making connections there and with all the players. So hopefully the Eagles can maintain the good things they did last week against La Crosse and try and fix the not-so-great things that happened last week and adjust that and add it to their game plan this week.
Correct. And now we're looking at Sublette. This is coming out of Kansas Pregame magazine. If you haven't picked up your copy yet, head over to Pizza Hut. Pizza Hut over in Great Bend or the Subway over there. They can hook you up with a copy. Covers the Ellenwood Eagles, covers the Sublette Larks, covers every high school football team Ellenwood will run into this fall. Get you a copy. John Bates and the crew out of Lincoln, they do a great job every year. I believe it's year 14 for the magazine, so doing a really good job this year. Get to get my edition this year. Nice to see. Flip through the pages and read through it. Sublette returning 10 offensive and 10 defensive starters from last year's team. Last year went 0-9, 0-3 in the district, a 1A team in the High Plains League. Ellen's going to run to a few High Plains teams later on in the season, as Southwestern Heights has won, Lakin's won. I think your Southwestern Heights, Lakin, Cimarron's won, but they'll be leaving the High Plains League after this year. After this year, they'll be joining the Great West Activities League, joining Hugoton, Holcomb, Scott City, Goodland, Colby. I don't know why I know all this, and it's just crammed in my head. Ulysses is another one of those teams. But back to Sublette, 19 returning lettermen, 10 offensive starters, 10 defensive starters. They're returning quarterback Bryce Williamson. He's back as a junior. Carson Thornton, a wide receiver. Dylan Watson is wide receiver. Tyson Lundblade, defensive tackle. Andrew Morales at the lines. Reese Garrettson as a wide receiver and a linebacker. Tanner Randalls as the halfback and the quarterback. We saw Randalls at quarterback last year. Williamson went down with injury in the second quarter, and it was Randalls who came in the back half of the second. And Caleb's got to head out for MCing the homecoming ceremonies, but I'll keep down the fort until those ceremonies begin at 6:30. Again, our candidates for King, David Hammocky, Tyler Knope, Ryan Niles, Kyler Dole. You watch all four of them tonight. And then on the Queen side, it'll be Kelly Williams, Caitlin Panning, Latasia Gray, and Nayeli Mendez. Sublette, again, 10 on both sides of the ball returning, so it's going to be really fun to see what all they're going to be able to do. Hopefully they're going to be able to get a win and get the monkey off their back. They've got some competitive games for them, I'd say. They've got Syracuse on the schedule. Syracuse went 4-4 last year. And, second year as a head coach there for Syracuse and Dustin Does. I forgot to mention Sublette's coaches. Lance Carter's in his second year as the Larks head coach, comes in with a record of 0-9. But, of course, last year was his first year as head coach. His assistants are Lyle Beffert and Kason Siemens. The head coach before him, Matt Fox, he moved on, and I believe he's an assistant coach at Southwestern Heights, who we will be seeing later on in the season. That'll be Week 7. That'll be senior night for the Ellenwood Eagles. And then, then you look at who all else is out there. A lot A lot of different names out there in the high school football world, especially out there in the Southwest Kansas portion of it. A lot of teams we're seeing in district are going to have completely brand new head coaches. Sterling's going to have they're going to have Brent Schneider, the former head coach at Ellsworth and Chase. He was at Chase last year, and he moved up to Sterling this year. Lyons is going to have former head coach at Republic County. Thinking here, Andy Gwinnap. He's the new head coach for the Lions. The Cimarron Blue Jays, that's an interesting coaching change, is Greg Koenig. After about 20-some years as a head coach in the state of Kansas, head coach at Cimarron the past 2 years, at Beloit for, 17, I'd say about 17, 18 years, head coach of the Beloit Trojans, and then 6 years before that at Colby. He's now over at Bannister High School in Colorado, so he's moved on. Lakin still got Jeff Bamberger as head coach. Southwestern Heights still having, let me find him. He is the former head coach at Fowler. Let's see if I can find him in the Class 2A section of Kansas Pregame. Let me find him here. Southwestern Heights. Oh, that might. Yeah, Kismet. Kismet, Southwestern Heights. Matt Bell, former head coach at Fowler. I believe he was the head coach at Fowler while Ellenwood principal Mark Cook was the building principal down there at Fowler, home of the Gold Bugs. And next week, we're going to see our first new head coach take on the Eagles, as it will be Ty Cass of the Ellis Railroaders. He's new to the program, taking over for Craig Amorine. It's 6:26. We're just about ready for the homecoming ceremony, and we'll hopefully we'll be able to catch some of the pregame, or not some of the pregame, but some of the emceeing will be done by Erica Gross and our own Caleb Bookout. So I'm gonna sign off for a few minutes, and then when we come back, when I come back and bring the microphone back up, we'll have Erica and Caleb. I don't know how we're gonna be having that coming through the speakers, but we'll figure out a way. So we'll all figure out a way. So, yep. Now that's all for me for a few minutes. So. Okay, folks, we're just about ready here for the homecoming ceremony. I'll hand it over to Caleb and Erica.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Ellenwood High School's 2019 Fall Homecoming Festives. On behalf of USD 355, we would like to thank you for supporting our students. At this time, we would like to invite you to sit back and enjoy the crowning ceremonies as we introduce your 2019 Fall Homecoming candidates.
Our first Queen and King candidates are Latasia Gray and Ryan Niles. Latasia Gray is the daughter of Chris Landrum and Chiante Gray. Latasia has been a part of KAY for 3 years and History Club for 1 year. She has participated in volleyball for 2 years, cheer for 3 years, and track for 4 years. Latasia is planning on attending cosmetology school and working as a CNA. After that, she plans on moving out of state and beginning life.
Ryan Niles is the son of Mike and Jonelle Niles. Ryan has participated in football for 4 years, basketball for 4 years, and baseball for 4 years. He has also been involved in KAY for 4 years, NHS for 4 years, History Club for 2 years, and FFA for 1 year. After high school, Ryan plans on attending a college that is yet to be decided to play football or baseball and study to become an athletic trainer. After college, he plans on settling down, starting a family, and eating lots of fruit snacks.
participated in volleyball for 2 years, cheer for 2 years, and track for 1 year. After high school, she plans on attending Washburn University to become a lawyer and then settle down and have 2 dogs and 1 cat.
David Hamke is the son of Clint and Carrie Hamke. David has participated in football for 2 years, basketball for 4 years, and baseball for 4 years. He has been involved in FFA for 4 years, FBLA for 4 years, KAY for 2 years, History Club for 2 years, and Skills USA for 2 years. After graduation, he plans on attending either Fort Hays or Kansas State pursuing a business degree. There, he will find his future supermodel wife before coming back to the farm to work with his dad or starting his own business. Ladies and gentlemen, Kelly Ann Williams and David Hamke.
Our third Queen and King candidates are Nayeli Mendez and Kyler Dole. Nayeli Mendez is the daughter of Ben and Sophia. Nayeli has been in yearbook for 4 years, Stuco for 2 years, KAY for 1 year, volleyball for 1 year, and has been a class officer for 1 year. She plans on attending Barton County Community College and then transferring to Fort Hays State to get a bachelor's degree in social work.
Kyler is the son of Monty and Robin Dole. Kyler has played football for 4 years, basketball for 3 years, and baseball for 4 years. Kyler has been in FBLA for 4 years, KAY for 2 years, and History Club for 3 years. He has performed in the musical for 3 years and has been a part of Mystic Blues for 4 years. When he graduates, Kyler wants to play baseball at a junior college and then go to Kansas State to major in chemistry to become a forensics chemist. Once he settles down, he wants to find the right woman and start a family. He hopes his family doesn't have a problem with him going MIA until the Pittsburgh Steelers or the North Carolina Tar Heels game is over. Ladies and gentlemen, Nayeli Mendez and Kyler Dole.
Our final Queen and King candidates are Caitlin Panning and Tyler Canoe. Caitlin is the daughter of Ryan and Patricia Panning. Caitlin has been involved in volleyball for 2 years, basketball for 3 years, softball for 4 years, and KAY for 1 year. After high school, Caitlin plans on attending Barton County Community College to get her undergraduate degree while playing softball. After Barton, she plans on transferring to a college that is yet to be decided. After college, she plans to marry a farmer and start her own happy little family.
Tyler Canoe is the son of Mark and Christian Canoe. Tyler has participated in FFA for 2 years, football for 1 year, basketball for 4 years, and baseball for 4 years. He plans to go to college at Kansas State and study in the field of architecture. After that, he plans on finding a good job and a honey to have some kids with. Ladies and gentlemen, Caitlin Panning and Tyler Canoe.
Our junior attendants for this evening are Chloe Coleman Hello, everyone. I am back from being the MC. Congratulations to David Hammocky and Nayeli Mendez on winning Homecoming King and Queen here. We have just about 20 minutes until the game starts. With no scoreboard, that's going to be hard to determine when we actually start, but it's about 6:40, and the game is set for kickoff at 7, so we have about 20 minutes. We'll just keep the broadcast going, and you can listen to Alex and I as we go over some things.
Well, let's run through exactly what happened with that scoreboard, because that's going to be a question asked quite a few times tonight. The scoreboard, as determined by the Ellenwood administration, was hit by lightning over the summer, very stormy summer here in Ellenwood. And looking at it, it's a rather funny situation. Last year, at the beginning of the year, the high school intercom, the bell system, that all was fried, and the administration said that was also caused due to lightning. And I mean, the motherboard was fried in the scoreboard, so it is very obvious that something, either an electrical short, it has been a very stormy summer. It's been a very flooded-ish summer, and I mean, that side of the stadium, that side of the field, tends to kind of just retain water really bad, which isn't that good. So, you know, it's never that good whenever you have a problem like that happen. But, of course, you know, there's always something.
Ladies, I got a question for you.
Yeah.
What time exactly?
Sorry, there had a question from our band director, Mr. Mark Newton, in his first year as band director. Caleb, are you in band?
I am.
How's he been?
He is a very generally nice person. He seems very knowledgeable about band. He was actually a principal, but then switched back to being a band director because that was his actual passion. But he seems very dedicated and determined to having us be successful in band. I would be playing with the band tonight if I was not announcing for this game. So you might hear the band tonight as they're playing by and being under-directed by Mark Newton.
You know, and of course, last year's director, Mrs. Kyla Pierce, she had her son over the summer. So congratulations, Mrs. Pierce. We hope you're listening. And tell little Gideon that we say hi from up here in the broadcast booth. You know, we've seen the photos, and man, he's a cutie.
Yeah, he is.
And
so to go over coaches for both teams, the Ellenwood head coach is Alex Burney, going into his third season with the team. Assistant coaches are Monty Dole, Trevor Bieberly, and Luke Keller. And for Sublette, their head coach is Lance Carter, coming into his second year. Not the season he hoped for in his first year with Sublette, but he's looking to turn that around this season with the Larks. His assistants are Lyle Beffert, Kason Simons, Caleb Reimer, and Will Johnson.
And when you look at Ellenwood, Bernie's in his third year, record of 5-13, and Carter in his second year with Sublette, year has record of 0-9. But last year, again, not the year that he wanted. Last year was, I mean, a very promising year for Sublette. Of course, is more or less trying to build the building blocks as it was. They had an air raid style offense. The unfortunate part was that the quarterback and the wide receiver really couldn't. You know, they communication-wise and passing the ball, it just really wasn't all that there in the game that we saw. A lot of missed catches, a few interceptions. At one point, we made the comment that we saw the quarterback for Sublette, Bryce Williamson. We saw him make more receptions to us, to Ellenwood. I think he had 3 interceptions. However, he only made, I think he had 3 or 4 interceptions he made 3 or 4 picks. He had only actually connected it to Sublette only once or twice in that first half, and then he went out with injury, and then Randalls took over at quarterback. Hopefully we won't see an injury happen again for him, as it's his senior season, or excuse me, it's the junior season, but you'd hate to see that happen to him this early on in the year.
Yeah, and if you're head coach Lance Carter, you just really looking for that first win, because that will totally boost up the team's confidence and motivation to keep pushing on through the season. And as a head coach, it feels really nice to have your first win, but hopefully it's not tonight against the Eagles, because it's our homecoming game. But good luck to the Sublette Larks for the rest of the season.
There is a free will hamburger donation
Well, I was thinking that was going to be the announcement from the Ellenwood administration about our beloved scoreboard, but unfortunately that isn't. There's a free will hamburger offering at the corner of the stadium. That's the United Way's doing. I was thinking that was going to be the start of our scoreboard announcement. Because I want to catch the actual saying from what the administration is going to say exactly. They sent out an INA alert due to unfortunate circumstances out of their control. The scoreboard will not be in use tonight. This is something we hope to have fixed by next week. Again, our apologies for that. That's pretty much to a T what that statement from the district was. It's not in front of me, so I'm sure I messed something up, and my apologies if I did to the district. But quite the interesting scenario we have here in Ellenwood tonight.
Yeah, and you'd think that hopefully we would try and check that sooner, but with no sporting events coming up here at the football field, we didn't catch it in time, so our apologies for that. We'll try to make the situation run as smooth as possible here, but still very unfortunate and very surprising that our scoreboard isn't functioning.
So that's the one thing to mention here tonight is whenever we are in a quarter, and if you don't want to know exactly where we're at, we won't have much a clue, nor will anyone really, because we don't have time, we don't have score, down distance, where the ball's at. The scoreboard operator tonight mainly is just going to keep track of the score on the little receiver that they have, and that's really going to be it. And there's the band playing under Mr. Newton. His first appearance is the pep band.
Yeah, but also here on the live stream, we will have the score. We just won't be able to update you on the times or the downs or anything else related to that.
Well, we can take an educated guess there, but
yeah,
it won't be exact. But at the same time, nobody's perfect, so we'll be relying on that. I'll be relying on that statement quite a bit tonight. Nobody's perfect, and if you expected me to be, you really haven't met me in real life, I don't think.
But talking to the Ellenwood players today, they seem very excited with it being homecoming and with Sublette coming in. They really want to achieve their first win of the season, and they feel like this is one of their best opportunities to achieve that. So they all seem very motivated, especially after last week and the result from there. So it'll be just something to look at for their energy in this game, as if it improved since last week at lacrosse.
And they're going to definitely need some of that energy going into next week's matchup versus the Ellis Railroaders. Last year, Ellis, we came into Ellis. It was their homecoming, and then we defeated them 34-12, and that was not expected anywhere. Nobody expected that, and I mean that we got some attention. KPreps.com gave us a helmet sticker on that one. I think it was Matt Gilmore from KPreps who gave us a sticker there. As Ellenwood kind of just comes out of nowhere, and all of a sudden with a 2-1 record. When's Ellenwood ever had that in the past 10, 15 years? Which is the big thing for Ellenwood football. We never have started that. We've never started that good in the first 3 games of the season, and then we went into district. We go to Lakin, and then all of a sudden, just like that, we get flattened like a pancake versus the Lakin Bronc-Buzzers. Ellenwood PA and Ellenwood Principal Mark Cook just announcing that we're just about 15 minutes away from the start of tonight's football game, so there's that.
Yeah, last week Tyler Knope was out with injury, and speaking with him today, he said he's suiting up for the game tonight, and he said he's primarily going to be playing at defensive end. Before he injured his knee, he was planning to be a starting defensive end, so probably in this game he will be coming off of the bench for the Eagles, but still having his contributions to the team and the locker room will definitely be needed and helped for the Eagles.
And the Eagles have made it now out onto the field for their for their final warm-ups before the start of tonight's football game. Excuse me, they're there. They are on the field right there. There's the team. Sorry, I'm sitting down and working the camera at the same time, so I'm a bit new to this, at least on the color commentary side of things. This is probably one of my first actually doing it. Of course, I'm pressed into service because we don't have the services of Ryan Ketter tonight. Ryan, our technology director for the district, out on vacation. Ryan, if you're listening from us in sunny California, welcome. That's really all I've got. I'm sorry. I don't know what to say.
Yeah.
But welcome, Ryan, if you're listening to us. And we can say that we're from coast to Well, we're on one coast at least. I'm not sure about the East Coast. Oh, that's not going to be the scoreboard announcement. You know, last year, this game, this is a rather funny story. If any of you guys remember the game last year, Ellenwood defeated Sublette 46-0. Second quarter, there was a plane flying. Caleb, do you remember this?
I do not.
Oh, man, this is a good one. There's a plane flying. I'd say it's a little bit to the west, a bit north of the field. I'm watching it. I'm facing to the west. I keep watching this plane, and it looks like it just can't land yet. And I'm like, what's the deal? I mean, the wind isn't a problem. It's calm out. What's the deal? Finally, I mean, I've been going on about this plane, why it can't land for about 5-10 minutes, and all of a sudden, Ryan taps me on the shoulder on a commercial. Alex, that's a crop duster. And I think it was, 4:36 left in the game, and Sublette's going to punt, and I've got some interesting news to share with all of you after this punt from Sublette.
Yeah, we definitely miss all of your comments here in the broadcast booth, Alex. Definitely been missed.
Yeah, well, see, you miss the comments, but you also got to miss you can't really miss the stupidity. I'll say that much. I've done a lot of stupid things up here, too.
Well, I'm going to use the quote you said you'll say a lot tonight. Nobody's perfect, so keep that in mind.
Using my own words against me. I like it.
Both teams here will see if we have the national anthem.
Our friends from Sublette, Kansas, the Sublette Larks. I would like to introduce their starting offensive players.
6:49, so we're about 10 minutes from going to show us our let's say their starting offense. It's going to start off with Bryce Williamson at quarterback, 5'10", 140-pound junior. They're going to have Brian Hernandez at wide receiver, 5'10", 145-pound sophomore. Probably going to have Miguel Hernandez at wide receiver, 5'9", 145 freshman. Anthony Morales, a running back for him. Carson Thornton, a wide receiver, 6'1", 145-pound senior. Reese Gerritsen at tight end, 6'1", 200-pound senior tight end. Andrew Morales at the lines. Dylan Mater on the lines as well.
5'11", 250-pound junior, number 71, Brecken Weber. A 6', 255-pound junior, number 75, Harry.
Last week against La Crosse, the Eagles really seemed to have a lot of trouble with Colby Stoll. Colby Stoll there from La Crosse had a great game for them. He had a 42-yard run, a 6-yard run, and he found the end zone. It looks like two more times there on the game. The Eagles really struggled with him on the ground on the outside run game. And speaking to the players today, they look like they would like to work on their play from their defensive backers and defensive secondary and their corners and safeties. So we'll see if the Eagles can have a better run defense here tonight, as PA announcer Mark Cook is starting to announce the offensive starters here for your Ellenwood Eagles.
Starts off with David Hammocky, a 172-pound senior for the Eagles at wide receiver. Then it'll be Lane Klepper. He'll also be at wide receiver, 152-pound junior. Kyler Dole most likely will be the quarterback tonight, 137-pound senior for the Eagles. Aiden Ricker will be a tight end for the Eagles, 156-pound junior. Ryan Niles will be pretty much another Swiss Army knife on the offensive end. Play both wide receiver and running back. He's a senior. Now we're getting to the lines. Cameron Stevenson, 237-pound junior. And Cole Kubik, 186-pound offensive lineman. He also play fullback.
255-pound senior, number 68, Dylan.
And Dylan White as well, 255-pound senior. 286-pound senior Woodson Corbett.
246-pound senior, number 7.
Garrett Hirsch, 246-pound senior.
Hirsch.
And then we're going to see, rounding out the offensive lineup, will be Christopher Nielsen, 171-pound senior. He'll be a wide receiver. So let's run through those starting lineups again on the offensive side of the ball for both teams, starting off with the visiting Sublette Larks. It'll be Bryce Williamson, McGill Hernandez, Anthony Morales, Carson Thornton, Andre Morales, Dylan Mater, Brecken Weber, and Eric Quezada. Let me see here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. I am missing 3 of them. Oh, dear. Well, there's 8 of these. Well, looking at it, Tyson Lundblade most likely be a starting lineman. Same with Dylan Watson at tight end.
We'll see if we are going to have the national anthem. By the looks of the Sublette sideline, it looks like we more than likely will.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, would you please rise?
We will.
Remove your head cover to honor this
The national anthem will be played by the Mystic Blues here at Ellenwood. So
by the Ellenwood High School Mystic Blues Honor Choir under the direction of Miss Paige Stephan.
excellent job there by the Mystic Blues there for Ellenwood as we are getting ready to start the coin toss here in Ellenwood. It looks to be Kyler Dole, David Hammocky, and Ryan Niles set to be the captains here for the Eagles. For Sublette, the captains look to be Dylan Watson, number 22 Carson Thornton, and number 56 Dylan Mater. Those are the captains for the Sublette Larks as we are about to get this football game underway. Both teams meeting at the 50-yard line for the coin toss to see who will start off with the ball and who will be on the defensive side to start this ball game. Next week, the Eagles will play Ellis at home. For Sublette, they play Elkhart at Sublette, so they have a home game next week as well as we are set to kick off underway. See how things go tonight with no scoreboard. Our apologies there. We will have the score for you up here, but there will be no time, so we are patiently awaiting the call here from the referees on the coin toss. It looks as if though Ellenwood has won the coin toss. We'll see if they choose to receive or kick the ball off to start off this game.
Well, sorry about that, Caleb. I thought the band was going to be doing the national anthem today and did not realize that they needed the mics that quickly.
Yeah.
But Mystic Blues under the direction of Mrs. Paige Stegman, quite a good job that they do. They always do a good job this year. We lost a really good senior class. Of course, they keep harping on my class, but
Yeah. Ref still talking it over with the captains for the Eagles and the Larks.
I'm sure they're talking about how that scoreboard snafu is going to play into tonight's game. Now they've got it all situated out. Looks like the Eagles have won it.
Looks like the Eagles will receive. They will defend the south goal. So the Larks will kick the ball off to your Ellenwood Eagles here tonight to start off the game as they play in their homecoming game, looking for a big first win of the season. So are the Sublette Larks. So we'll see both of these teams eager to finish this second week off with a win.
And you know, the team that comes off with...
The Ellenwood Eagles will be doing the kicking to start the game.
Oh, my apologies. The Eagles will be kicking off to the Sublette Larks to start off the game, which means they will get the ball at the start of the second half.
But that means you'll be able to see the services of Christopher Nielsen in the kickoff game as well. That's something we weren't able to see that much last week because, well, all the kickoffs are mainly being done by lacrosse.
Yeah, so Christopher Nielsen, he is from Sweden. Pleasure to have him here in Ellenwood. He has a very strong leg. He played a lot of soccer over in Sweden as well as American football, so he's had a lot of practice with kicking, and we can definitely see it, especially last week in lacrosse. He nailed multiple extra point attempts, and he had a 30-yard field goal miss. It was very not accurate, but definitely had enough power to get things going. Nilsson wearing number 85 here as both teams take the field, and we are about to get this football game underway. Set back to return for the Larks is number 22, Cason Thornton, which he will receive the ball. He is taking the ball up the middle right now, looking for Green, but he will finally be stopped there by the Eagles. Looks like it was Christopher Nielsen, the kicker there, coming up big on the stop for the Eagles, as Bryce Williamson and company take their first offensive drive here.
And if it wasn't for Nielsen catching him, he would have been gone for a touchdown and would have been a very bad start for Ellenwood to start off this football game.
For the Larks, it looks to be single receiver to the far side, trips to the near side. Williamson in the shotgun formation gets a snap, hands the ball off to number 20, Anthony Morales, but he's going to be stopped at the defensive line by a flock of Eagles. So the Eagles stop them before the line of scrimmage, bringing up second, and it looks like to be 11 here for the Sublette Larks.
And if you're looking at it, Ellenwood with a really strong far side blitz coming in there, trying to pressure quarterback Bryce Williamson there in second down 11.
Second down here for the Sublette Larks. It looks to be single receiver on the near side, single receiver on the far side with a tight end on the near side. Williamson gets a snap in shotgun formation again. He's going to keep it himself on the far side. Williamson has room to work with before being stopped by David Hammocky. Williamson got to about the 42-yard line there as they approach about third down and 7 here.
That'll make it a good third down manageable there for the Lark offense.
Last week against lacrosse, we saw Ellenwood really adapt to the quarterback keeper plays. It was very successful. I don't think lacrosse saw it coming, and the Larks there doing some of that on their own on that last play. As we have trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side. Snap to Williamson, looks to the far side where he has an open receiver in Brian Hernandez. Brian Hernandez fighting for the first down there as they will get it. Sublette will move the chains.
It looks like Sublette got that one. Nice 9-10-yard reception there by Hernandez.
That will put the Sublette Larks right at about the 47. They did not get the first down, it looks like. They came up short, so this will bring about fourth down. It looked like they did get it up here in the broadcast booth. If we have twins on the near side, twins on the far side, snap to Williamson. Williamson's going to hand it off, and it looks like the Eagles will have a stop there on fourth down. Coming up big is David Hammocky, the homecoming king tonight. Almost said queen. So
Nayeli Mendez was the queen there, Caleb.
Yes, she was. As the Eagles take the field offensively, Kyler Dole and company look here to start their first offensive drive.
And that's a good stop there by David Hammocky. And, just a good way to drive him back. And then with every yard that they lose, that's where Ellenwood's going to get the ball at. So a nice 2-3 yard loss there is going to help out Ellenwood in their first offensive drive.
Dole in the shotgun formation as we have single receiver on the near side. Twins on the far side here. Snap to Dole. Dole's looking at Hammocky on the far side. Hammocky looking to make room. He's still running down the far side. Has room to work with, but he is going to be stopped, but not after gaining a first down there for the Eagles. He will be brought down out of bounds right at about the Sublette 28-yard line.
Looks like Bryce Williamson made the tackle there for Sublette, and a good screen pass there that Dole made to Hammocky to get that good yardage.
Last week we did not see that screenplay very much against Lacrosse as David Hammocky was in the emotional out last week. So we bring up 1st and 10 here for the Eagles. Single receiver to the near side. Twins on the far side once again. Same formation as first down last play. Motion here from Hammocky. The handoff is kept by Dole. Dole looking to make room work, but he is going to be stopped by the Sublette Lark defensive line. Doesn't look like he gained that much, maybe a yard or so. So this will bring about 2nd and 9 here for the Ellenwood Eagles.
And good film work there that Sublette did on that. Saw the run, saw that they knew that it was going to be kept there by Dole, and they just kind of sat there and waited. And they swarmed both of them. But again, that was only a 2-3 yard loss, so they would have went right for Hammocky. That would have been an easy touchdown for Dole.
Same formation again here for the Eagles as Dole gets a snap, hands it off to Niles. Niles going up the middle and will be stopped once again by the Sublette Lark defensive line. Defensively, the Sublette Larks have had great stops with their defensive line, and this will bring about 3rd down and about 6 here for the Ellenwood Eagles as they approach red zone territory.
And again, just a reminder, we're going to get a window in the middle of our way of coverage. So it'll be Caleb with you on the play-by-play, but you won't be able to watch the touchdown. You'll be watching a wall.
Trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side here for the Eagles. Dole making an adjustment, gets a snap, 5-step draw back, looking far side. He has an open man in Hammocky, it looked like. That was Aiden Ricker. Incomplete there as number 22, Carson Thornton, was in coverage there for the Larks.
And for Thornton, really good coverage that he had for Ricker. I mean, it's going to come with some time, when he's contested with those passes to bring him down and catch him. But, I mean, it's a simple mistake there that Ricker made. But if that was going to be, if Ricker caught it, still struggling to get my words here together. If Ricker would have caught that one, that would have been quite a moral booster that Ellenwood would have got there.
The Eagles seem to be going for it here on 4th down, not kicking a field goal as Dole gets a snap. Dole looking near side once again. He will have Hammocky there for sure, getting the first down, bringing the Eagles into red zone territory. Hammocky brought down right at about the 8-yard line as the Eagles seek to find their way into the end zone for the first time in this game.
And again, a very good pass there to Hammocky to get that first down. Of course, that was something that they didn't really catch, and well, you got the referee still making the wind the clock signal, but of course, isn't a scoreboard up there.
The Eagles here now looks to have Twins on the far side. No receiver on the near side. Niles, the running back next to Dole. Hammocky in motion. Dole hands it off to Niles up the middle. He is going to be stopped once again by that Sublette Lark defensive line. The inside runs for the Eagles. Not looking to be so successful here in this first quarter as the Sublette Larks able to read that and stop Niles before he could gain too much.
I think it'd be safe to say that there weren't a lot of yards made on that one. Maybe 1 or 2, maybe at most 3.
See if the Eagles adapt and try to run the ball more on the outside, but passing the ball has been pretty effective here so far for the Eagles in the red zone. As we bring up this 2nd down and 5. Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Dole in the shotgun formation. He usually stays in the shotgun formation. He has a snap looking near side. Fakes the pass, faked me out, looking inside. He was intended for Zink, number 7, Cody Zink, a sophomore, but that would be broken up by Sublette, looks to be number 13, Albie Perez there guarding Zink.
And sorry, folks, but we are in window territory right now as any touchdown to the near side of the end zone will be blocked by a window. But again, really nice play there that they designed. Hopefully they're going to have that go over there to Zink, but could not get things connected.
3rd down and about 5 here for the Eagles as they keep inching their way closer to the end zone. Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Same formation as 2nd down. Motioning Niles to the near side. He's looking for Niles. We're going to have the flag on the play here.
first penalty of the game, and it looks like they're going to be calling this one on the Eagles. That was the initial call from the side judge, and that is going to be the call.
It will still be third down for the Eagles, but they will be pushed back. It looks to be a 5-yard penalty there. See if the Eagles try and run the same play as they did before the penalty call. Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Dole once again gets the snap, rolling out to the far side, looking end zone. He cannot convert there as it went straight through Hammockey's hands right at about the first down marker.
Hammockey was looking to try and get that one, but unfortunately couldn't connect on it. Went right through his hands.
Fourth down decision here for the Eagles. It looks like they will bring out Christopher Nielsen to try and sink in this field goal attempt. Christopher Nielsen from Sweden, like we said earlier in the broadcast. He is a senior. He has one strong leg, so we'll see if he's able to convert on this field goal attempt.
And our apologies to the Nielsen family, as again, we are not going to have that field goal, at least the goal portion of it covered, but the refs are
kick is
going
up
to call
and it is good. The Eagles will put the first points on the board. The Eagles lead the Sublette Larks 3-0 off the made field goal attempt there by Christopher Nielsen. Christopher Nielsen definitely is a blessing to have here in Ellenwood, both for the community and for this Eagle football team, as Sublette Larks come out for their second drive led by Bryce Williamson.
And that was about, what, a 35-yard field goal, you'd say?
I'd say about at the 25, but still very long kick there from Christopher Nielsen. He's definitely capable of kicking them from deep, so we'll see how that plays out through the rest of the night as your Eagles take a lead here in this homecoming game. The Eagles lead 3-0, and boom goes the dynamite.
You mentioned Nielsen's depth, I guess, as one would say. That one made it all the way, not in the back half of the track, that one made it all the way to the fence of the complex here. Very impressive kicking leg there that Nielsen has for the Eagles.
We will see Nielsen set to kick off once again, back deep to receive for the Larks once again is number 22, Carson Thornton, and what looks to be number 11, Miguel Hernandez. The kickoff seems to head to the direction of Hernandez, but that will be a touchback there as Nielsen kicked the ball all the way into the end zone, showing off his impressive kicking skills there, my apologies, and the Sublette Larks will take the field for their second offensive drive of today.
You know, the nice thing about it, last week he was doing a pretty good job on the punting side of things. This week we're going to see him with a pretty good job on the kicking side of things. Touchback, he gets the tackle on the first kickoff and then a 35-yard field goal to his name, and we're still in the first quarter. At least I think we're in the first quarter. Who knows with that scoreboard?
Twins on the far side, single receiver to the near side. Looks to have a tight end on the far side as well. Williamson gets a snap here. Looks to be a handoff here to Thornton. Thornton looking to get some extra yards before being brought down there. Looks like he got a gain of about 6 there on the run.
And that right there, I mean, wrapping up and tackling, trying to get him down, but finally you get enough guys, 4, 5, 6 of them, and then he finally goes down for it. But again, really good running game there from Sublette.
Off of Nielsen's kick, that gave great field positioning here for the Eagles defense, as Sublette now has Twins on the near side. Single receiver to the far side with a tight end on the far side here. Williamson once again gets a snap, fakes the handoff to Thornton, will keep it himself, finds a hole up the middle before finally being stopped, but it was not stopped in time as the Sublette Larks will gain a first down there on the run by Williamson.
Let's see if we can get a time. Hopefully we can get a time from Ellenwood PA announcer Mark Cook. Again, our scoreboard is out, so that adds for some interesting scenario, for a very interesting scenario in tonight's game.
Single receiver to the near side, Twins to the far side with a tight end once again on the far side. Williamson gets a snap, hands it off to number 20, Anthony Morales. Anthony Morales looking to make something happen here on the near sideline, right by the Eagles sideline. He definitely gained the first down there and ran out of bounds at about the Sublette 48-yard line.
Good run there by Morales, as that one's going to be first down and quite then some. Still on their own, they're still in Sublette territory, but they're knocking on the door
Last week, the Eagles seemed to struggle with outside runs, and that play right there seems to prove they still need to make some adjustments. Single receiver to the near side, twins to the far side. The handoff here to number 5, Tanner Randalls, as he tries to go up the middle, but that will only come up to a gain of about 2 on the run there.
First time we've seen Randalls with a hand in the ball, hands on the ball in tonight's game. Again, last year was the backup quarterback when Williamson went down in that second half.
Second down and about 7 here for the Sublette Larks and Bryce Williamson. The Eagles were able to stop the Larks on their first offensive drive and were able to put some points up on the board offensively, as we have twins on the far side, tight end on the far side, and single receiver to the near side. Fake handoff by Williamson as he'll keep it himself, trying to cut back up to the middle. Can't find anything on the outside, and he was stopped there by a flock of Eagles.
Looked like there was Aiden Ricker on the play alongside number 12, Devin Comark.
5-yard run there by Williamson, as this brings about 3rd and 2 here for the Larks, as they are very close to that first down marker. We'll have to see if they keep it on the ground. So far, it's been pretty successful in this second offensive drive.
I'd say we've got 4 minutes left in this first quarter. Again, we're still speculating on the time.
Williamson hands the ball off once again to Randalls. He's going to be stopped by the Eagle defensive line. Last week at La Crosse, the defensive line knew their assignments and played very well. And this week, it seems defensively the Eagles definitely got Sublette's number.
Dylan White, Cole Petts, Cameron Stevenson, all on that. Or excuse me, not Petts, Cubic, Cole Cubic on that as well. 4th down 5, and looks like we might have a punt.
The Sublette Larks look to be punting the football here. Bryce Williamson set back to punt here for the Larks. David Hammocky deep to return for the Eagles right at about the 15-yard line.
For that, we're going to have a timeout taken by Sublette.
We will keep it here with you. Sublette taking the first time out of the game, as the Eagles are set to gain the ball once again off of the punt by the Larks.
4 minutes and 30 seconds left on the game clock in quarter number 1. That was just announced over the PA. And again, the scoreboard, we're going to reiterate that, is dead tonight. The motherboard was fried by a strike of lightning over the summer. Don't know when exactly that happened, but it is out tonight. And we're learning how to appreciate the scoreboard. You don't think about it all too much, but all of a sudden you have it gone, and wow, that sucker is important.
I think everyone's missing out, especially on the field and up here in the booth. Everybody really definitely missing out on that scoreboard being there.
Well, definitely up down on the field, because game situations, when you got the time clock situations there and time management, it's hard to when you don't know it right on the top of your head.
The Eagles need to be ready for potentially a fake punt with having Williamson as the punter, but the punt is up. Hammocky deep back to receive, won't reach him though, as it will be punted down to at about the Eagle 29, as the Eagles come out on their second offensive drive of the day, led by quarterback Kyler Dole, senior, homecoming candidate.
Miguel Hernandez there, the one who took that, fielded it for the Eagles. And Caleb, this is more or less a question for you. What are we going to expect from Ellenwood more on the passing side of things here in this second drive, hopefully? So
the Eagles last week against La Crosse usually tried to make short, about 4 to 5 yard passes back at the sidelines and tried to get out of bounds. So I wouldn't be surprised if we see a lot more of that here coming into this second drive, as the Eagles get ready here for 1st down and 10. Still the first quarter here.
Well, hold on a second. We had a penalty on the play. This might still be Sublette ball. It looks like it might have been a penalty on the Eagles. It is a penalty on Ellenwood. It was an X is a personal foul. Yeah. That's what the ref had. So a personal foul on Ellenwood will move the ball up, and it will remain with the Larks. So a real killer there of a penalty for Ellenwood.
Twins on the near side with a tight end on the near side. Single receiver to the far side here for the Larks. Williamson hands the ball off once again to number 20, Anthony Morales.
And a good yardage there. It was initially number 75, Garrett Hirsch, who found him and pretty much kept him back until he could get met up there by Dylan White and Woody Corbett to finish up that tackle. A nice 5-yard loss there the Eagles defense made.
The Larks now setting up in a 2nd and 15 situation here. The Eagles look to stop the Larks before they can reach red zone territory, as we have trips on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Williamson in the shotgun formation. Williamson gets a snap, looking to pass on the near side, and he will have an open teammate in number 22, Carson Thompson.
However, that one isn't. It's going to make more negative yardage. So, of course, the catch there being the pass caught by Thornton, but Hammocky drives him out. Not Hammocky. Lane Klepper drives him out there out of bounds, and all of a sudden it becomes 3rd down 20, and that penalty, it's starting to look like Ellenwood, those 15 yards they gave up on the personal foul, they're making right back.
The Eagles now looking to get a stop once again as we have single receiver to the near side, single receiver to the far side, tight ends on both sides. Williamson looking to pass once again over the middle, has an open teammate in number 11, Miguel Hernandez. Hernandez will be stopped right at about the Eagle 15 there by David Hammocky.
And right there, Sublette's going to get into the red zone, and I'm going to move the camera here. So, folks, if you get any jiggling, sorry about that. We're going to be moving the camera quite a bit tonight just to get the best picture. The booth here, we've got 2 windows, and we got a pillar right in the middle, which is real pain when it gets to these situations in the red zone.
Single receiver to the near side, single receiver to the far side with a tight end on both sides once again. Williamson keeps it himself coming to the near side. He's going to be brought down immediately there by Lane Klepper. Looks like a gain of none, potentially 1 yard there, as this will bring about 2nd down and 10 here for the Sublette Larks.
And the thing there was that Ellenwood looked like to have a somewhat strong far side blitz. They kept Lane Klepper at home, and that's what saved it from being a long run.
Lane Klepper so far looking to be very beneficial in the starting varsity lineup this year. Twins on trips on the near side, single receiver to the far side. Williamson looking near side, looks to pass, but he can't find anyone. Rolls out to the near side, looking to throw once again. Has an open teammate in number 81. Number 81 being Dylan Watson, as Sublette will find the end zone for a touchdown. The first of this game for the Larks, as the Larks take a 7-3 lead here against the Ellenwood Eagles. 6-3, my apologies.
So just like that, Ellenwood gets burnt. And it looked like Aiden Ricker was applying some really great coverage there. He almost sacked him, but wasn't able to get the job done. And it was just a nice roll out there from Williamson with somebody on his tail, flushed out of the pocket in order to get that pass there. Bit of a crossbody pass as well, which also is impressive.
Extra point attempt here for the Larks after it looks like to be a 15-yard pass there from Williamson looking to roll out to the far side and try and find the end zone himself, which he will. That will look to be an 8-3 lead here as the Sublette Larks come out in homecoming.
Oh, wait, yeah, it will be for a 2-point.
Sublette Larks finding the end zone for a touchdown first here, as we will see the Eagle return team here for the first time tonight.
So the score now 8-3 in favor of the Sublette Larks, as Sublette finding themselves with the lead. And a bit of a different game from last year. Last year, Ellenwood was just thrashing Sublette pretty single-handedly, and this one, it's now looking to be anybody's game.
The Eagles, I think, might have had the mindset of how it could be a breeze tonight, but the Eagles still need to do their job here, as we will see Sublette getting ready and set to kick off here, as the Eagles will be set to receive. Receiving team here for the Eagles, making it out to the field. Same with the Sublette kickoff team.
That Sublette kicker is going to be number 8, Brian Hernandez, 145-pound, 5'10" sophomore.
The Eagles will be entering their third offensive drive of the night. The first drive, they put up some points on the board there for a 3-point field goal attempt by Christopher Nielsen. The second drive, they couldn't find the end zone, so the Eagles will come out here in their third offensive drive after this kickoff attempt. Set back to receive for the Eagles looks to be number 13, Ryan Niles, number 21, Eli Hernandez, and deep back number 2, David Hammocky.
Good hands team there in the back for Ellenwood.
Like Alex said, Brian Hernandez set to kick off for the Larks. As the kick is up, it looks like it will be received there by Hammocky as he fumbles with it. Near side here, Hammocky looking to make something happen. He has some room. David Hammocky is looking to go on the near side at the 40, at the 30, at the 20, the 10, Touchdown, Ellenwood Eagles, as your homecoming king, David Hammocky, responds very quickly there as the Eagles will tack on 6 more points, bringing the Eagles to the lead 9-8 here.
And that right there, some good blocking up front for Ellenwood. And just like that, able to run it all the way down the side. A little bit concerned there. I thought around the 10-15 that he was going to run out of bounds. He's that close. He's pretty much straddling that end zone, straddling that line there. We're not going to be able to get the 2-point conversion. It's actually not going to be a 2-point conversion. It's going to be a kick from Nielsen. Actually, let me see if I can move this.
Nielsen set to kick here for the Eagles as we have someone else running onto the field here. Here's the snap, the kick up from Nielsen. No good there as it was right next to the left upright post, but nonetheless the Eagles will take a 9-8 lead here. It's still in this first quarter.
So 9-8 on the Hammocky kickoff return touchdown. And where would you say he fielded that at?
I would say probably he was about at the 15 or 20, so at about 80 or 85 yard kickoff return there from Hammocky. The Eagles will be set to kick off once again to the Sublette Larks here. The Eagles looking to come up with a big win here in their homecoming game.
Talk about a shot of adrenaline that David Hammocky just gave the Eagles. I mean, you're down 8-3, first quarter, and you're thinking to yourself, man, what's going to happen now? I mean, we're back on the offense, and David Hammocky is like, nope, I'll take care of that. And he runs it all the way 85 yards for the touchdown.
Set back to receive this kickoff here for the Sublette Larks. Looks to be once again the same two, and number 11 McGill Hernandez and number 22 Carson Thornton. Once again set for the kick here is Christopher Nielsen, foreign exchange student from Sweden.
Good to see Ellenwood women's tennis coach Tyson Revelle in the stands. The Eagles have a home meet, or not a home meet, they'll have a meet in Great Bend tomorrow starting at 9 a.m. So if you're bright and early up there, head over to Great Bend and Vets Park and support your Lady Eagle tennis team.
The Eagles here getting ready to kick the ball off as it is up. Last kick for Nielsen was a touchback. This one will be received by Hernandez. Hernandez looking to come on the near side, making one man miss, but he will be brought down there by who looks to be number 84. He is not on the roster. Do not know who that potentially could be, but great field positioning here for this Eagle defense as they look to make a stop. The Sublette Larks now coming out for their 4th offensive drive of the game, led by Bryce Williamson.
And you got to give some credit there to Lane Klepper and to Aiden Ricker. They tried to get him down there, and he forced Thornton to go backwards on the play until he was able to get taken down there.
Single receiver to the near side, tight end on the near side. Single receiver to the far side with another tight end on the far side. Williamson gets a snap, looks to keep it himself going up the middle. He is going to be brought down there by what looks like to be Aiden Ricker for about a 4-yard rush.
Ran into the offensive line there, which is the problem. The hole was made, but the defense there was getting in the way there and found the hole, but then got tripped up.
About 2nd down and 6 here for this Sublette Larks offense. Aiden Ricker, a big, very large defensive piece for the Eagles in all of his time here in Ellenwood. Single receiver to the far side, single receiver to the near side, 2 tight ends, one on the near side, one on the far side. Williamson looks to pass here on the far side, can't find anyone he wants, he'll keep it himself. Flag on the play here as Williamson's going to be brought down out of bounds by the Ellenwood Eagles.
Well, as you mentioned, it looks like that will be the enough for first down, but let's see here what the yellow towels are on the field here for. It's going to be on Sublette, so it's going to move them back.
A potential first down there by the Larks missed off of the flag, so the Eagles still will have a 2nd down defensive opportunity here. Not sure what the flag was for, but nonetheless, it will bring the Sublette Larks back into their own red zone.
Quite a bit. 15-yard penalty there. Question on what it was and whether there's a block in the back. That's what I could see it being. But that's going to move them all the way back to about the 10-yard line. Good defensive positioning here for Ellenwood, and I'm going to move the camera again.
Looks to be about 2nd and 20 here trips on the far side for the Larks. Single receiver to the near side. Williamson in the shotgun formation. Won't be surprised if they look to pass, which they will on a screen pass over to number 11 being Hernandez. Hernandez trying to make something happen, and just like that, they regain the yards lost off the penalty now, as it looks to be about 4th and 3 off of the reception screen pass by Hernandez.
Here we are, 2nd down 20, and they're on that pass to Hernandez. 17 of those 20 just made just like that.
Seems to me that we should be nearing the end of the first quarter here. As last time we checked, it was about 4 minutes and 30 seconds, so it seems like we should be getting close.
10 seconds remaining on that first quarter, so we're just about ready to go into quarter number 2 in this football game, and that's what it looks like we're going to have. So that's the end of the quarter number 1. Your score 9-8. Ellenwood leading Sublette, but by a razor-thin margin. A lot different than last year's game, Caleb.
Yes, it was. Last year, your Ellenwood Eagles defeated the Sublette Larks by a score of 46-0. The Eagles had to make the trip down to Sublette, so fortunately we had a home game against them this year, but definitely not the way the Eagles thought this game would start off, but nonetheless the Eagles are still ahead here as they will return defensively to start off the second quarter.
Last year was the Cody Cutter Express there that was making that offense go, boom, goes the dynamite. And this year, they're still trying to find a little bit of an offensive identity, trying to find it maybe to Hammocky, maybe passing it to Hammocky, possibly running it through Niles, running it through Hammocky, running it just quarterback keeping it to Dole. Who really knows what we're going to see out of this Ellenwood offense? They're still trying to get some identity early on in this young season.
The Sublette Larks look to be like they have already been watching film on Kyler Dole and looking to know when he will have a quarterback keeper so far tonight on his attempts for the quarterback keeper. The Larks seem to have his number and stop him there, so I wouldn't be surprised if we see more of the passing game here offensively for the Eagles.
And that's the advantage that Ellenwood had over Sublette. Cody Cutter didn't play in that lacrosse game. He was injured, so Ellenwood goes into Sublette, and all of a sudden, who's this Cody Cutter kid? That's what everybody on the Sublette sideline's asking after he burned him for 4 or 5 touchdowns. Quite a big game he had last year in that Sublette Lark matchup.
We are going to, it looks like it would have been a flag there as the Larks look to go on to and gain the first down, but we had a helmet issue there for the center, keeping Ellenwood on their toes, it looks like, as we will redo this down. Trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side. The snap to Hernandez. Hernandez looking on the far side. He will have his man in Hernandez on the screen pass. Stopped there by a flock of Eagles. We will have to see. It looks very close to the first down marker.
They're going to have that. They're going to have the referee spot at the 40, and it will be a first down for Sublette. It looks like Sublette's found their offensive identity. It's going to be throwing it to Hernandez.
Fresh set of downs here for the Sublette Larks as we have 1st and 10 coming up here. Hernandez already having a big game receiving-wise on the short screen passes. We've seen that a lot so far in this first half. Single receiver to the near side, trips to the far side with a tight end. Hernandez, my apologies, Williamson set back to get the snap, but you will looking near side once again. Rolling out to the near side, bullet pass straight into the dirt, intended there for number 11, Hernandez. Once again, Hernandez coming into the Sublette offense, being a freshman, already making a huge impact in his first year of play here for the Larks.
Well, it was Miguel Hernandez who was intended for, but it was caught on the sideline by Brian Hernandez. So, still got it caught, but not in bounds.
Second
by
down.
An eligible player.
2nd down and 9 here for the Larks. Single receiver to the near side. Same formation as last time. Trips on the far side. Snap to Hernandez. He is looking near side. He finds his man in number 5, Tanner Randalls, but the pass was in the dirt once again. Not able to convert there on the passing play to Randalls.
Randalls caught it. However, he was pretty much on his knees when he caught it, so therefore, by virtue, he's down, and it's an incomplete pass.
3rd down and 9 here for the Eagles as the Eagles look to force the Larks to go 3 and out on their offensive drive.
But the thing that's different from last year is that they're able to string some plays together for first down. Last year they weren't able to do that all too well.
The Eagles should stay on their toes as Williamson gets a snap, looking deep to pass. He'll keep it himself. He's rolling out to the far side, looking to still pass, throws a heave up, and he will have his man in Perez. Perez able to come down with it there off of the big jumping catch there, as that will gain the Larks a fresh set of downs and a first down.
Albie Perez, a 5'9", 145-pound senior for that Lark offense. First time we've seen him catch a football tonight.
The Larks sure moving the ball very nicely now, as the ball is set right at about the 50-yard line here, as the Larks look to bring it into Ellenwood territory.
I mentioned Aiden Bramer in the pregame. He was the one pressuring Williamson and took him all the way back there to that sideline. Really good pressure he gave.
Single receiver to the near side. Same with the tight end on the near side. Tight end on the far side. Single receiver to the far side. Snap to Williamson. Williamson looks to keep it himself, coming to the near side. Cutting it up the middle before tripping there, as we will have a flag right at about the Ellenwood 45. We'll have to see who this is on here.
If the play stands, which it does not look like it will, tackle was made there in between three players, between Klepper, Dole, and Ricker. Penalty here. They're going to be moving the chain. They're going to be moving the down marker back, so it looks like there'd be another penalty on Sublette.
Head referee here talking to Captain Kyler Dole.
Still trying to figure out what the dealio is. It's going to be first down 10, so looks like the penalty is going to be penalties, if there were two, will be offset. No, it will not. It'll be holding on Sublette. And it's going to stay first down, but it will be first down 20. Excuse me, first down 15.
That penalty there setting the Sublette Larks back 5 yards.
Back into their own territory.
As it looks to be the same formation as we saw last play. Single receivers on both the far and near side, with tight ends on both the far and near side. Williamson now in the shotgun formation, looking far side to pass. Comes back to the near side, running the ball to the far side, rolling out. He thought about passing it, which he did. His intended receiver there being Hernandez, but Hernandez cannot come up with it.
If it was going to be caught, there should have been a flag thrown on that play. He was in front of the line of scrimmage, and that is a penalty. I don't know the correct technical term for it, but that is a penalty.
The Eagles definitely need to keep watch on Williamson, because he is a threat both on the ground and in the air. You never really know what he's going to do when he's rolling out to the far near side, so the Eagles need to stay on their toes and be able to stop that when they see it occurring.
Second down and 15, and this Sublette Lark offense a lot different from last year's team. But again, when you're returning 10 starters offensively and defensively, you're going to be expecting to do some really great things, and you're going to make things a heck of a lot more troubling for your opponents. We're going to have another penalty on Sublette, another 5-yard penalty. Legal man Dan Field is going to be the call, so it's now second down and 20. So while you've got 10 on both sides returning, the hard thing is penalties are killing the Sublette Larks right now.
The Larks definitely dug themselves a hole here, as we have twins on the far side, single receiver to the near side, a tight end on the far side as well. Williamson dropping back to pass, 5-yard drop, as he will find his open receiver in Perez. Perez on the near side has some room to work. David Hammocky there as a safety, coming up to stop him there before it got too dangerous.
And right there, I mean, Ellenwood didn't really have any coverage right in the middle of the field, which was the problem, as, they're right there, the second down 20 situation, that just gets wiped off the board.
The Larks there being able to convert on a large second down play, as they will have a fresh set of downs here for first down and 10 for Bryce Williamson and the Sublette Larks.
And this time they're in Ellenwood territory, not at the 50. So this time they knocked on the door, and pretty much they just kicked the door in and got their way in.
Snap here to Williamson, hands it off there to Morales. Morales up the middle there, not going to be enough for the first down, but what looks to be like a gain of about 6 or 7 there. The Eagle linebackers there able to make a big stop before he could get anywhere more up the middle of the field.
5-yard gain on the play for the Sublette Larks.
Second down and 5 here for the Sublette Larks. Looks to be twins on the far side. Now it looks to be trips on the far side. My apologies. Single receiver to the near side. Snap here, handoff once again to Morales. Morales going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage with no gain there as the Eagles were able to make a big stop with their defensive line.
Got a score from a couple of teams. We got a couple of scores right now. Victoria leading Central Plains 22-0 in the first half. Also in the first half, Lakin leading Stanton County 28-0. We'll see Lakin in week 4.
Third down and about 8 now here for the Sublette Larks. Twins to the far side, twins to the near side here.
Candles are now lit here in the complex.
Williams drops back to pass, White applying the pressure. Williamson's going to keep it himself, and he looks to have enough for the first down before heading out of bounds right at about the Ellenwood 24-yard line.
That seems to be the issue that Ellenwood's had is you've got you got like a far side blitz, but your guy on the near side who's staying at home, he gets caught up blocking someone, and then all of a sudden you've got no linebacking core because they're taking care of receivers. And just like that, you're able to get some pretty good yardage there. That seems to be the problem defensively for Ellenwood.
When Williamson rolls out, it's very unpredictable if he's going to heave the ball in the air or keep it on the ground. That time, he made the Eagles pay for it on the ground. Twins on the near side, twins on the far side, same formation, as a last play, 1st and 10. Williamson now looking near side on a screen pass, which he will convert to number 22, Carson Thornton, before being brought down by a flock of Eagles.
And the big thing about Thornton there, I believe the first defensive player to him was Aiden Ricker. The first thing that Thornton does is Ricker wasn't all that well set up to tackle him. Thornton just shoves his helmet down and is able to get a yard, but then easily picked up by the rest of the Eagles who were getting there.
Looks to be about 2nd down and 11 here for the Sublette Larks, right at about the Eagle 27-yard line here. Looks to be trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side. Morales next to Williamson, who gets the snap. Williamson looking far side. He has his man there in Thornton. Thornton over the middle there gets the catch for it looks like to be a gain of about 6.
Hammocky again gets him down on the tackle. 3rd down 6 it looks. See if we get a time. We won't get a time from PA announcer Mark Cook. Again, the scoreboard is out tonight, so we're kind of relying on the paper and pencil for scores and the PA announcer for the time.
Williamson now gets a snap here for the Larks. Being rushed, runs up the middle, looking to pass, which he will. Incomplete there, intended for number 8, Brian Hernandez, as that will be incomplete.
The thing with Williamson is he likes to run up and pretty much pass it as he's at the line of scrimmage, which is going to be a little bit of a concerning thing because if you're over that line of scrimmage, that's a penalty of 5 yards. I mean, he's really good at getting there right to the line of scrimmage, but we're going to see a timeout taken by Sublette, so I'm going to be able to talk about it a little bit more. But, you look at it. 39 seconds remain. I feel like there's more than 39 seconds.
That quarter, if it is 39 seconds, felt like it blew by real quick.
Here, wait, let me ask my brother. He's over in the stands.
The Larks now will be set up for a 4th down opportunity here. The Eagles looking to have a big 4th down stop. The Larks look to be in a situation where they will go for it here. Head coach Lance Carter in his 2nd year here for the Larks, talking it over with his team, looking to set up a play to be able to convert that 1st down and have a fresh set of downs here for the Sublette Larks. The Larks look to be right at about the 21-yard line here.
I didn't catch a time, but it's something of 39 seconds as well, so who knows? We're still in the 3rd quarter nonetheless.
2nd quarter.
We're still in the 2nd quarter, I should say. My apologies. And we're going to see
looks to be an official timeout.
I thought it might have been another equipment snafu that Sublette had that could easily be fixed.
Williamson now with the snap, looking far side again. He had his open teammate there in Brian Hernandez, but it fell straight through his hands there as he had the ball right at about his lap.
And if Hernandez would have been able to keep it with him, it would have been a 1st down.
That will be a change of possession there. The Eagles now heading onto their offensive drive, backed up all the way right at about their own 21-yard line here.
So here we go, Kyler Dole and company, looking to find some more identity, hopefully. Could it be Hammocky? Could it be Niles? Could it be Klepper? Who knows? Hopefully we're gonna find out.
Twins on the far side, single receiver to the near side here for the Eagles. Hammocky in motion. Dole's the pitch to Hammocky on the near side. Hammocky cutting it back up still on the near side. There is a flag thrown. Hammocky still fighting for some yards before finally being brought down by the Larks.
2-yard gain, but we're going to say the yellow hanky's thrown on Ellenwood for a holding call. That's going to add 5 yards.
Eagles now going to have a 1st and 15 here on them, digging themselves a hole as they get backed up further into their own territory here.
So 1st and 10 turns into 2nd and 15 or 1st and 15. Either way, penalties, we were saying they were killing Sublette. They're starting to dig into Ellenwood a little bit too. That's something that the Eagles need to work on heading into district play starting in 2 weeks versus Lakin.
The referees now finally moving the ball here as this will back the Eagles up as they have a first
down and 20, so it's a 10-yard penalty. I'll move them at the 11, I'd say.
Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side here as Kyler Dole in the shotgun formation gets a snap. Looking for a pass near side. He has his man in Hammocky off a short bullet pass there as Hammocky will about regain the yards there. Missed on the penalty as it will bring about 2nd down and about 9 here.
He was taken
for
down.
The Eagles.
Sorry about that, Caleb. He was taken down by Alexis Trejo and Carson Thornton for Sublette. They'll make it 2nd down and I'd say about 13, 14.
2nd down and 13 here for the Eagles as they have Twins on the far side, Twins on the near side. Usually in this formation we see Hammocky go in motion. The snap to Dole here rolls out to the near side, signaling to his receivers, cuts it back over to Niles. Niles trying to make something happen, cuts it back over here to the near side, making a few defenders miss, trying to make another one miss, which he will not, but nonetheless a good gain there from Niles off the pass from Dole.
And that was a really nice move there that Niles made. A couple of jukes, a couple of cutbacks, able to get a couple of Sublette defenders. He got a couple of them, broken ankles. You see that more in basketball, which Niles also plays and does a pretty good job playing the basketball too. But he's able to do the juking and the stifling and all that, and he did a pretty good job there making some yards on that play. They're talking about something. They have they're talking about the
1st down for the Eagles.
I guess they're talking about the down, questioning whether that was a 1st down or not. Surprised they did not bring the chains in for measurement. So that really nice cutback and such move there for Niles makes it first down.
Niles, a very agile player here for this Eagles offense, which they desperately need in times like this. Single receiver to the far side. Twins on the near side with a tight end on the near side here. Don't see this formation too often here for the Eagles. Dole gets a snap, hands it off to Niles. Niles trying to cut up the middle once again, but just like we've seen in the rest of this game, the inside run by Niles being stopped right at the defensive line by the Larks.
See, here's the thing with Sublette. Last play they got embarrassed by him. A couple of them on their right there just sitting down on the field like, oh, I just got my ankles broken. The next play, they see Niles with the ball. Nope, you're the one going down, not us.
Brings about 2nd and 9 here for the Eagles. Twins on the near side, tight end on the far side. Dole once again in shotgun formation as we see a motion by Hammocky, flags for what looks to be offsides.
Looks like that's going to be on the far side. They're going to be moving it back, so it looks like it was on Ellenwood and it was on those far receivers, so it could either be Nielsen or it could be Stevenson, or maybe Nielsen or Stevenson was the culprit on that play. Don't know exactly who. Both of them were in motion, but the question was who was first.
Looks to be the same formation as last time. Single receiver to the far side, Twins to the near side, motion from Hammocky. Hammocky is going to get the handoff, but we will see another flag once again.
The far side judge calling it false start on Ellenwood. So again, the penalties are starting to really get and dig into the heels of the Ellenwood Eagles. We saw this in more big-style 15-yarder penalties that we saw for Sublette, and one of them being on Ellenwood, actually. And now we're going to see, again, penalties driving this play back.
Eagles take a timeout to kind of go over some things and take a deep breath of air here as they are still struck with what looks to be a 2nd and 20 situation here.
And that's not the first time on this drive they've had to deal with that situation, which isn't really situating all that well. Looking at some scores around the league, around the state, I should say. Here in the second quarter, Victoria 22, Central Plains 0, Valley Heights 24, Horton nothing, Northeast 8, Yates Center nothing. In the Centennial League, this one is going to be a good one. The Manhattan Indians leading the Topeka Trojans by a score of 14-0 late in the first quarter. That's from K-Preps. This one's actually a surprise. Not too much of one, actually. Otis Bison leading the Buckland Red Aces 6-0 at the end of the first quarter. And the KPreps.com game of the week, the Phillipsburg Panthers and the Plainville Cardinals. That score is currently scoreless at 0.
Both teams out of the timeout here. Twins on the near side, tied in on the far side being Nielsen. Dole once again staying in the shotgun formation. Motion here from Hammocky. Handoff will be to Hammocky. Hammocky trying to make something happen. Cuts it back up the middle, making one man miss. Hammocky has room to work. Could have potentially found the end zone if he would have bounced it out to the far side. But nonetheless, that will move the chains here for the Ellenwood Eagles.
And again, it's David Hammocky with a shot of adrenaline. After Sublette got the touchdown, people start thinking, well, what's Ellenwood going to do? David Hammocky, shot of adrenaline, gets the kickoff return touchdown. 2nd down 20. What's Ellenwood going to do? David Hammocky again, shot of adrenaline, and he gets the first down.
Fresh set of downs here for the Eagles.
That'd be a good nickname. David shot of adrenaline Hammocky. Bit of a mouthful, but it'd work.
Twins on the near side, single receiver to the far side being the tight end. Motion once again from Hammocky here. He fakes the handoff, looking near side. He'll keep it himself. Pass fake, but Dole will keep it on the near side. He will be brought down there by what looks to be number 81, Dylan Watson there by the Larks, only gaining about 3.
Anthony Morales also coming in there at the very end to get him down.
Brings about a 2nd and 7 here for Kyler Dole and the Ellenwood Eagles. Still quarter number 2. I can definitely reassure you it was not only 39 seconds left because that would have passed already. So sorry we do not know the time for you here. Our scoreboard is down here in Ellenwood.
And we'll explain more about that at halftime alongside some other things with Ellenwood football.
Single receiver to the near side. Single receiver to the far side here as... My apologies. Twins on the near side as Hammocky comes over. Snap to Dole. Dole dropping back. He'll keep it himself. Trying to make something work. Bounces it out to the outside. Dole has room to work with here. Only one more man to beat being Williamson. Makes him miss. Will Dole find the end zone? No, he will not. But Dole there once again having a lot of success there on the quarterback keeper for what looked to be potentially a 60-yard run there by Dole.
Carson Thornton, the one who finally caught up to Mr. Dole to get that touchdown saving tackle for Sublette.
That run there by Dole puts the Eagles right at about the Sublette Lark 14, now entering and inching near red zone territory here for the Larks as the Eagles come out with trips on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Niles, the running back next to Dole in the shotgun formation here. Snap to Dole. Dole's looking for a screen pass to Hammocky on the near side, which he will get. Hammocky makes one man miss. Stiff arm to another man, and that will be what looks to be an Eagle touchdown by David Hammocky.
He got it there right on the far side of the pylon, made the nice dive for it, and just like that, Ellenwood Eagle touchdown.
15-yard screen pass touchdown there to Hammocky from Dole. As that tacks up 6 more points on the board for the Eagles. The Eagles now lead the Sublette Larks by a score of 15-8.
Another extra point attempt here to be made by Christopher Nielsen. The Swede, as they call him. And one heck of a leg he's got. Here we go on the extra point. Snaps it, hold, and it is good. Another extra point good from Christopher Nielsen.
That will give the Eagles 16 points on the night. The Eagles lead the Sublette Larks with a score of 16-8 here as the Eagles once again find their way into the end zone, as we will see the Eagle return team come out on the field and the Sublette Lark kickoff team come out on the field once again.
Caleb, I'm going to make a little bit of a prediction, and this is, I wasn't at the lacrosse game, and this is the first game of watch, and I don't know how many more Element Eagle games I'm going to be watching because I'm covering for K-Preps. But I think we're going to see the offensive side of things going Dole to Hammocky on the pass, Dole to Niles. We're going to see a lot of passing in this Element Eagle offense, I believe, this year.
Last week at lacrosse, they did have a lot more success passing the ball. The only success the Eagles really strived to find was on the ground with Dole, as we saw that on that previous drive with a huge 60-yard run there by Dole. But I think you are right on that, as the Eagles will look to have more of a passing threat than having a threat on the ground, as that is evident in that last touchdown by Hammocky.
So right just like that, 16-8, Ellenwood leading Sublette here in the second quarter. It'll be Nielsen to kick again. Nielsen with an extra point attempt. He's 1 for 2 on the extra points, and he's got a 35-yard field goal to his name. What a game he's had tonight. He's had a couple of touchbacks as well.
Deep to receive here for the Larks once again is Carson Thornton and number 11, Miguel Hernandez. Like Alex said, Christopher Nielsen set back to kick off here to the Sublette offense here, and boom goes the dynamite. Reception here is going to be made there by Carson Thornton. Thornton taking it up the near side before being stopped there by the Ellenwood Eagles. That will start this Sublette Lark offensive drive right at about their own 27.
Aiden Ricker there with the tackle for Ellenwood, as Thornton was able to barrel through a couple of players before he was able to finally get taken down by Ricker.
No clue on how much time's left here in this first half. Sublette, nonetheless, probably looking to score here before the first half is over. The Eagles looking to make another stop and keep this lead, as the Eagles lead the Sublette Larks by a score of 16-8. Trips on the near side here for the Larks. Single receiver to the far side. Williamson set to get the snap, which you will. Looking near side for a screen pass here to Hernandez. Hernandez has a lot of room to work with, but Hammocky there coming up big for the Eagles. If not, that could have been very dangerous.
And again, it seems to be David Hammocky is the main playmaker for this Ellenwood Eagle team, whether it's his offensive or defensive. You haven't seen him do anything yet on special teams, but special teams hasn't really been that crucial of a part of the game yet, as we're still early on in the second quarter.
2nd down and 5 here for the Larks as Hernandez catches the pass there from Williamson. Hernandez once again fighting for that first down, dives for the first down marker, and he will get it. Oh, potentially not here.
Lane Klepper and Eli Hernandez there were on the tackle, and it will be a Sublette Lark first down.
Sublette now in hurry-up offense here as they're trying to get in before the second quarter is over. Twins on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Snap here from Williamson as he will find his man over there on the far side there, going out of bounds right at about the 49. His man there being number 22, Carson Thornton once again.
Ryan Niles there with a tackle, and a smart move there for Sublette going out of bounds. They'll stop the clock immediately. So, minute 35, I believe, was the time set for Mr. Cook. So, a minute 35 left in this half for Sublette to try and work some magic here in this half.
2nd down and 2 here for Bryce Williamson and his Lark teammates here. Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Williamson gets a snap, dropping back to pass, going right over the middle where he tries to find his man there in Watson, but it goes a little high and he can't come down with the grab.
And David Hammocky there could have easily got an interception. He was just a couple of yards away from it, but he dove for it, but could not get a possible interception.
I wouldn't be surprised if we see the Larks keeping the ball in the air with such short time left on the clock and trying to get in the end zone. I wouldn't be surprised if they keep the ball in the air for most of this drive. 3rd down and 2 here for the Larks as we have trips on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Williamson now 3-step drop back, rolling out to the far side. He'll keep it, gaining the first down before heading out of bounds right at about the Ellenwood Eagle 45, stopping the clock.
So he's doing everything right, and now it's 14-8 halftime. between Otis Bison and Buckland. That's a good game over an 8-man Div 2 territory. But first down and 10 inside Ellenwood territory for the Sublette Larks.
The Larks right at about the 47-yard line in Eagle territory. Looks to be a timeout here taken by defensive coordinator Monty Dole for the Ellenwood Eagles, trying to talk some things over with his defensive squad to prevent this Lark offense from finding the end zone.
See if we get a time here. I don't think we will.
If you missed the homecoming ceremony at the start of the broadcast, your homecoming king winner was David Hammocky, and your homecoming queen winner was Nayeli Mendez.
Congratulations to both of them. Congratulations to the whole court. I was a candidate last year for winter homecoming, and they say that you're supposed to really like the opportunity of being a winter homecoming candidate or a fall homecoming candidate. I'll be honest, I was trying to perform a reverse Rob Blagojevich and try and sell my seat off to somebody else, and there were no takers, unfortunately.
Today at Ellenwood High School, a lot of the students and players out on the field were involved with homecoming festivities with the parade and float building. The homecoming candidates also involved in that this year. Both teams finally coming back out on the field to continue this drive as the Larks have a fresh set of downs, 1st and 10 here for Williamson and company.
Caleb, I got to ask you, who won that the float contest?
We will not find out until Monday. So we'll have to wait and see that as Williamson gets a snap, drops back, 5-step drop, tries to go over to number 13, Perez, as Perez once again can't come down with it as it was right above his helmet in his hands.
Now, when you think about it, an incomplete pass for Sublette is still okay, especially when it's first down 10. That stops the clock. Going out of bounds and incomplete passes and first downs all will stop the clock. So right there, not that good of a play, but it'll help him out in the long run a little bit.
Probably under a minute left here of play in this first half. Twins on both sides here as Williamson looks back to pass. He looks to find his man in Hernandez as he had to drop low to the ground, but the refs calling that incomplete as it will be a 3rd and 10 here for the Larks.
And again, clock stopped, not that bad, and an update to the Centennial League game we were talking about with Manhattan and Topeka, tied all 14-all late in the second quarter.
3rd and 10 here as the Larks look for a opportunity to put more points on the board before heading into the half. Single Twins on the near side, Twins on the far side. Williamson drops back to pass, keeping it himself, going up the middle. He's going to be stopped there by Woodson Corbett right at the defensive line, giving them a loss of about 2 there. Definitely not what the Larks were looking for.
You know, Williamson's trying to look real coy there, trying to just take that one up the middle of the line. But nope, there's Woodson Corbett there. I'm here. I'm here to tackle you. And he just got him. Just took him down really quick, really easy, and leads it to fourth down and 14. And Woodson Corbett doesn't sound like that. I don't know why I went all I don't know what I was trying to reenact there, like a
resemblance to maybe the Incredible Hulk potential.
Yeah, the Incredible Hulk, I believe.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Larks look to go for it here since there's such little time left and they are still right at Eagle territory at the 50-yard line. They're actually going to take a timeout. 26 seconds remaining here in this first half as the Sublette Larks call timeout.
So here we go. This one pretty much I'd say is all for the marbles in a game as pivotal as Ellenwood Sublette. Right now we're going real back and forth. It's been a real tough battle between both teams. And here we go, you know. Every down, everything counts. I mean, it's not like you could really, you know, you can slack off for like 5 seconds. You can't do that in this game, unfortunately. You've got to fight for everything. And Sublette, again, 33-game losing streak. Their seniors don't know what a win's like. Nobody knows what a win's been like in Sublette for quite some time. So they're trying to get the monkey off their back, and they're trying to hopefully get that taken care of over Ellenwood. But, of course, for us, we would rather not see that happen. But the way the game goes, and here we are at 4th down 14 with, 26 seconds to go?
29 seconds left here in this first half. The Larks have a large hill to climb if they want to move the first down chains and keep this drive alive. It looks to be the formation of the punt team here. Surprising decision there. Could potentially be a fake, but nonetheless, Hammocky deep back to receive right at about the Eagle 20-yard line. The punt is up here. Hammocky looks to receive it right at about the 10. Hammocky now bringing it to the near side here, trying to make something happen. Tries to make a man miss, but he will be brought down there by Dylan Watson right at about the Ellenwood Eagle 19-yard line.
It's always Watson and Thornton there for a tackle on Hammocky no matter what, as Thornton comes in pretty late to take him down from the head first. As Watson gets his legs wrapped up, then Thornton comes in, and then with forward momentum. But we got another yellow hanky on the play. Last time we saw one of them, it was on Ellenwood, and it moved Sublette up the chains. Oh, please tell me we did not have this happen again. It happened once. Does it happen a second time? Here's the hoping it doesn't. An update to next week's opponent, TMP leading the Ellis Railroaders, score 12-7.
Block in the back there on the Ellenwood Eagles. That will put them in a bad situation as they now are facing a first down and 10 here, but being backed up all the way at what looks like to be the Eagles 6-yard line.
Not as bad as the last time there was a penalty, as that went back into Sublette's hands, and I think that one was the touchdown reception drive there for Sublette.
Dole hands it off to Niles. I think the Eagles are just going to run the rest of this first half out. The Eagles only gaining about 2 yards there on the run. That will bring about 2nd and 8 here.
And that right there over the PA system, it's the end of the half. So your score at halftime, the Sublette Larks 8, your Ellenwood Eagles 16. And here we are at halftime, beginning of our halftime report. Got a couple of Eagle fans here waving at us through the window.
Ladies and gentlemen, we want to remind you to wear red in your Team Israel shirts on Friday, September 20th. There will be
Well, Alex and I here in the booth, no advertisements yet for us, so the stream will keep running, but we are going to take about a 4 to 5 minute break. When we come back, we will have updated scores around the Prairie League and around the state to inform you on, so we'll be right back as your Eagles lead the Sublette Larks at halftime with a score of 16-8. Hello everyone, Caleb Bookout back here with you. About 4 minutes left to go here in the remainder of halftime. The Eagles still lead the Larks by a score of 16-8. Kind of a scoring breakdown here for the Eagles. The Eagles started off with a 25-yard field goal attempt, which was good, bringing the Eagles total to 3. David Hamke finding the end zone twice for the Eagles off of a 10-yard kickoff return and a 15-yard touchdown pass. Hamke also found the end zone twice last week against the La Crosse Leopards. For the Sublette Larks, they had a 25-yard pass from Bryce Williamson to Dylan Watson. Also converted on the extra go-for-it attempt as they also scored 2 more, bringing the score to 8 for the Larks. Sublette back out on the field. Ellenwood yet to return here. Still no scoreboard here tonight in Ellenwood, which makes my job harder, so sorry for no updates on the time. We do know the score and what yard they're on. We still know everything else but the time. So our apologies here on this end, but the Eagles still lead the Larks by a score of 16-8 here. The Larks getting stretched out and ready to go. The Eagles so far having a pretty good first half, throwing the ball. Running the ball hasn't been as successful as they would have hoped, but throwing the ball in the air has been pretty solid. Eagles still waiting to come back out onto the field here. Halftime is slowly ticking away. 2 minutes left in this remainder of halftime. The Eagles will enter the second half with a 8-point lead. The Eagles will get the ball in the second half. They chose to kick it off at the beginning of the game, so the Eagles will be starting with their kickoff return team coming out once they get back out onto the field. Tonight is the homecoming game for the Eagles. Congratulations to David Hamke and Nayeli Mendez. David Hamke was the King candidate winner. Nayeli Mendez was the Lady Queen winner. Congratulations to both of them. David Hamke having a pretty stellar night for himself, winning homecoming king and finding the end zone twice. He has been playing pretty well here for the Eagles. Still no sign of the Eagles out onto the field. In the broadcast booth here, we're heavily relying on PA announcer Mark Cook to update us on the game count and the time remaining in each quarter as we are about to enter the third quarter. Next week, your Eagles take on the Ellis Railroaders here at home. We don't have to make the drive out like we had to last year, so the Eagles will be taking on Ellis at home. If you're interested, Sublette will be taking on Elkhart at Sublette, so they have a home game next week as well. Both teams here tonight between Ellenwood and Sublette looking for their first win last week. The Eagles fell to the La Crosse Leopards by a score of 19-63. Like I said earlier, David Hamke also found the end zone twice last week. Sublette last week lost to Oakley 6-31. Last year, Sublette was unable to score against Oakley, so Sublette obviously putting in a lot more work this season, making a lot more changes as this is a closer game than most intended it to be. The Ellenwood Eagles are coached by head coach Alex Burney, assisted by Monty Dole, Trevor Bieberly, and Luke Keller. For the Sublette Larks, their head coach is Lance Carter. He's heading into his second year. Alex Burney's heading into his third year as the Eagles have finally made it back out on the field, stretching it out, getting ready for this second half of action. The Sublette Larks and the Eagles tonight seem to be having more success throwing the ball both trying to use their quarterbacks on the ground as well, with Dole for the Eagles and Williamson for the Larks, both of them trying to adapt to that style of play, and obviously both teams have been very successful with it. Dole had a major 60-plus yard run, and Williamson has moved the chains multiple times for the Larks, keeping the ball onto the ground. Didn't hear how long Mark Cook said there was left in the first half, but we should be ticking down here and getting ready for the start of this third quarter. This would be a big win for both teams heading into week 3. Last year, Ellenwood came off a win from Sublette and shocked many and beat Ellis, so they're looking to repeat that again this year once again. Sublette has huddled up in their own end zone, so it looks like we are about to get this second half underway here. Probably another minute or so, 30 seconds or so here. It'd be nice if the scoreboard was up and operating, but at this time it is not. General consensus from the administration here in Ellenwood assume that it was struck by lightning, so no clue when we'll have that up and running. Hopefully next week versus Ellis, it'll be up and ready to go. Ellenwood now getting huddled up here as we get ready to start quarter number 3. Alex Hammocky back here with me here in the booth as we get ready to start this second half.
And, it's going to be a really good second half. I believe Ellenwood's going to get the ball started off. And, Ellenwood can build on that 16-8 lead that they have here in the first half. And, again, Ellenwood has really done a good job of balancing not having a scoreboard with them. Again, there was a lightning strike during the summer and fried the motherboard and rendered the scoreboard useless, unfortunately. So for Ellenwood, they've done a really good job clock management-wise. Same thing for Sublette. Very weird circumstances in tonight's game, but both of them, kudos to them for making it work.
Hopefully we will have the scoreboard fixed by next week. Sublette's kickoff return team seems out, but I could have sworn that the Eagles would be set to receive as they kicked off in the first half.
Well, so Ellenwood, I think, came out ready to kick. Ellenwood should be receiving the ball. They kicked off in the first, and they're going to kick.
We'll set back to return here for the Larks. Looks to be number 11 and number 22, number 11 being Miguel Hernandez, and number 22 being Carson Thornton.
There's a lot of questions here. Coach Alex Burney here talking to the side ref. He's as confused as just about everybody, and it's his team that he's talking about here, as Ellenwood should be getting this second half kick, but unfortunately they're not.
Nielsen set to kick off here for the Eagles. Kind of a confusing situation here in Ellenwood, but the game moves on nonetheless. Kick from Nielsen looks to be received there by Thornton. Thornton taking it up the middle. He's going to be stopped there by a couple Eagles as the Larks will come out now on their first offensive drive of the second half.
Now, while Ellenwood shouldn't be kicking it off in the second half, they do have Nielsen, which means that it's going to be a pretty long, booming kick.
Great field positioning here as the Eagles defense sets to take the field and stop this offensive drive here by the Sublette Larks. Bryce Williamson and company now out of the huddle here for the Larks. Looks to be a single receiver on the near side. Trips on the far side of Williamson in the shotgun formation. Both quarterbacks tonight seem to stay in the shotgun formation. The snap to Williamson looks to hand it off up the middle here to his teammate Anthony Morales, but only gained a couple there as he was stopped by the Ewood D-line.
And right there, Ellen was going to try and make the best of the situation here. Technically, they're the ones who should be on offense. No real understanding as per what happened. Hopefully we'll get some understanding from Coach Burney post-game as per what the exact situation is, as I'm sure that has everybody puzzled, but again, second down 10.
No gain on the run there by Sublette, brings about 2nd and 10. Trips on the near side, single receiver to the far side here for Bryce Williamson and company. The snap to Williamson, fakes the handoff, keeps it himself on the near side, cutting it back up the middle, has room to work, but Aiden Ricker there, stopping Williamson right at about the 38-yard line.
That's enough for us, a bit like first down, unfortunately.
Aiden Ricker, being a junior here for the Eagles, seems to be their defensive anchor for the past couple of years, seems to always come up with big plays and keep the Ellenwood defense in check. First down and 10 here, fresh start of downs here for the Sublette Larks. Single receiver to the near side. Trips to the far side here for the Larks. The snap to Williamson. Hands it off here to Hernandez once again. Hernandez here on the near side. He's going to be brought out of bounds there by Hammocky. My apologies, that was Morales, but Morales will be brought out of bounds right at about the Ellenwood Eagle 45.
And hopefully here we're going to see Ellenwood not slump into those third quarter blues that they seemed to have last year. Or in the third quarter, they'd kind of fall into a little bit of a slump, and then you'd have teams who come roaring back.
First and 10 here for Sublette in Ellenwood territory, right at about the Ellenwood 45 here, as we have trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side. Williamson here gets the snap, fakes the handoff, keeping it himself, trying to cut up the middle. He's going to be brought down by Aiden Ricker once again as the far side defensive end.
Devin Comark also in on that tackle for the Eagles. Makes it second down 8.
Gain of only 2 there by Williamson. We've seen both teams using their quarterbacks on the ground effectively, with Dole bursting for an over 60-yard run himself, but Williamson putting the grind on the ground and gaining some first yard attempts for the Larks. Single receiver to the near side, trips to the far side here for the Larks. The snap to Williamson. He's going to hand it off to Morales once again, but he's going to be stopped right at the line of scrimmage there by the Eagle defense.
For Sublette here looking into this second half, if they're going to want to make some positive offensive yardage, running up the middle isn't really going to do it because you've got that big line there from Ellenwood. As I was on the halftime show for Old School 107.9, as they mentioned it, Ellenwood's got pretty much a wall of beef there on the lines on both the offensive and defensive side, so you're going to run into somebody pretty quickly. They got to find a way to get that speed and cut out to the far side, to the outsides if they want to get some yardage.
Third down and 9 here for the Larks, trying not to go 3 and out, as we will have what looks to be an offsides call here, potentially on the Eagles here.
Looks like it was the nose tackle. I believe it was Corbett. I believe Corbett's the nose tackle, but the nose tackle went first, and then both of his defensive tackles went right with him. So it looks like it was Corbett on the initial charge, but also with that, Bramer and maybe thinking it might have also been Stevenson too.
This will bring about third down and 4 here for the Larks. The Larks looking to move the chains. The Eagles looking to prevent a stop and get the ball back on their offensive drive here. Twins on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Trips on the near sides, forgive me. Williamson now with the snap. Looks to roll out to the far side after getting some pressure from Klepper. He's going to be brought down for a sack there by the Eagles, preventing any first down capabilities there by this Larks offense.
Cole Kubik does it, and looks like we're going to see an injured Lark there, as it looks like Williamson is down on their sideline. And it is not looking good. But Cole Kubik gets the stop. Aiden Bramer also there on the pressure. That's never a good sign there on the sideline. It'll be fourth down and 14. It's going to be fourth down and 15 when play resumes.
Hopefully Bryce Williamson is okay. We'll see if he is able to return to the game or not. But nonetheless, fourth down and 14 here for the Larks, as players on the Ellenwood defense and hopefully sideline will take a knee here for Williamson. Hopefully he is going to be okay and potentially could return to this game here.
Well, when you look at last year, the same thing happened. Williamson went down, I believe in the second quarter instead of the third, and we saw Randalls come in as a new quarterback to take over for the rest of the game. However, in this one, we do not see Randalls listed on the depth chart as a quarterback, and instead that would go to freshman Miguel Hernandez, a 5'9", 145-pound freshman for the Larks. That's going to be a punt team, so we won't know until the next play. Colby Hines now coming in on that punt team coverage.
Set to receive here for the Eagles is David Hammocky off the punt there by Miguel Hernandez. High arcing punt there. The ball is going to roll. Hammocky's going to pick it up, bringing it to the sideline, cutting it back to the far side, trying to escape Lark's defenders, but that will end up bringing him back to under the 5-yard line there in Ellenwood Eagle territory.
David's been able to use that cutback a lot of times in his favor. This time, the Sublette used it to their advantage to pin him back a bit. And the athletic trainer still working with Williamson on that sideline. Looks like they're focusing on a shoulder.
The Larks now have great field positioning here defensively. The Eagles need to dig themselves out of this hole they've dug themselves in, as we will bring about 1st and 10 for Kyler Dole and company. Twins on the near side. Single receiver on the far side. Motion here from Hammocky. Snap to Dole. Dole hands it off to Niles up the middle. Niles trying to escape some defenders, but grabbed by the back of his jersey there by what looks to be number 7, Ace Martinez there for the Larks.
I like to change it. They might have Williamson in concussion protocol, as they've now got him standing up, and the trainer is looking pretty much dead set into his eyes with a flashlight, it appears. So maybe concussion protocol, maybe shoulder here for Williamson for Sublette.
Gain of about 7 there for the Eagles brings about 2nd and 3rd here. Dole gets a snap, looking for a screen pass near side. He'll keep it himself, makes one man miss, diving for that 1st down marker. We'll have to see if he makes it. I don't think he will. I think he will remain right at the line of scrimmage there. Good idea from Dole for keeping that pass to himself and keeping it on the ground.
Tanner Randall's the one who had some pressure in the backfield for Dole and was finally taken down. I believe he was taken down there by Miguel Hernandez.
3rd and about 5 here for the Eagles, backed up in their own territory now, as the Eagles have twins on the far and the near side. Dole in the shotgun, potentially looking to pass, which he will. Rolls out to the near side, looking for his man. He'll keep it himself. Couldn't find what he wanted. Makes one man miss, breaks one tackle, breaks another tackle before being brought down there by the Larks.
Tyson Lundblade there on the tackle for Sublette. And that one looks like it's enough to take the chains in for another Ellenwood Eagle 1st down.
The Eagles now having a 1st and 10 opportunity off the run there from Dole. Dole broke a few tackles there, and that was enough to give them the 1st down that they desperately needed, backed up in their own red zone. Eagles now, still no clue on how much time is left in the 3rd quarter, but twins here on the near side for the Eagles. Tied in on the far side for the Eagles. The only receiver over there. Motion here from Hammocky. Snap to Dole, who landed off to Niles. Niles cutting it back up the middle before being brought down right at the line of scrimmage by Sublette.
No yardage there. Looks to be made by Ellenwood. It's still 2nd down, 10 at the 15.
2nd down here for the Eagles off of the run there by Niles. The Eagles definitely having more success in the air unless Dole has it on the ground. Dole comes out from talking to head coach Alex Burney with the play call. Looks to be a single receiver on the near side, in that being Klepper. Trips on the far side. Dole gets a snap, rolling out to the far side, looking for a man. He will dump it off there, a dump-off attempt there, and what looks to be Aiden Ricker, but that will be incomplete for the Eagles.
Reese Garrett's in there, pretty tight coverage there on Ricker. Looked like it also might have almost been intercepted, but then fell incomplete.
2nd down, my apologies, 3rd down and about 9. Right as I said that, they switched the down markers, so it will be 3rd down and about 9 here for the Eagles. Looks to have twins on the near side, twins on the far side. Niles back by Dole in the shotgun formation here. Dole gets a snap, rolling out to the near side, probably looking for Hammocky, which he will, but that will be deflected there by number 54, Maverick Stapleton, a junior there for the Larks, coming up big, trying to prevent a 1st down by the Eagles.
Good question if he is related to some of the more athletic Stapletons in southwest Kansas. Stapleton family out of Meade. Their be Jay Lynn Stapleton went to Barton Community College on a basketball scholarship. Now she's down at Oklahoma Baptist University, D2 in the Great American Conference.
Punt team out here for the Eagles, as we have Christopher Nielsen from Sweden, our foreign exchange student, with one great leg set to punt. Deep back to receive here for the Larks is number 11, Miguel Hernandez. The punt is up here from Nielsen. That will go out right at about the Ellenwood 40-yard line as the Larks will take over offensively, and we'll have to see. It looks to be as Bryce Williamson is still on the sideline, so we will have a new quarterback in for the Sublette Larks.
It looked like Tyson Lundblade there might have maybe got a little sliver of a hand on that play, but not 100% sure exactly whether he did or not. Either way, it does change the dynamic of that punt as it only went all the way to, let's say, about the 39-yard, that's going to be the 34-yard line.
Miguel Hernandez is the new quarterback in here in place of Bryce Williamson. Bryce Williamson still has his helmet off over on the sideline. Hopefully he's all right. Hopefully nothing too serious.
I think we've seen the last, though, of Bryce Williamson tonight, however.
Twins on the far side. Single receiver to the near side. Tight end on the far side as it's a pitch over to Morales. Morales now with it not going to gain anything. Stops right at the line of scrimmage there by the Ellenwood Eagle defensive line.
David Hammock and Aiden Bramer look to be on that stop there. It looks like maybe a loss of a foot or so. So second down 10.
That was the first time we saw one of those pitch plays by Sublette now. Maybe potentially that having to do with having a new quarterback in. Second down and 10 here for the Sublette Larks at the Ellenwood Eagle 34-yard line. Eagles still ahead of the Larks by a score of 16-8. Single receiver to the near side here for the Larks. Trips to the far side. Hernandez back in shotgun. Good awareness by the Eagles. Hernandez keeping it on the far side, but he's going to be stopped once again there for a loss by the Eagle D-line after great awareness to watch the snap count.
So there we go. Third down and 15. Oh, no, it's going to be 14, I should say, in this third quarter.
Third down at about 14, right at the Eagle 38-yard line here. Great defensive start to this third quarter by the Eagles, looking to cause a 3-and-out opportunity here against the Larks. The Larks need to get to about the 25 to gain a first down here as they have twins on the far side, twins on the near side. Probably look for a pass here. Drops, three-step drop there from Hernandez, throws it up. That's going to be intercepted there by Dole. Dole looking to make something happen. Coming up the middle, Dole has nothing but green in front of him. One man to beat being Hernandez. He's going to be tackled by Hernandez, but nonetheless, a great interception there by Kyler Dole.
And that is quite the play. And we talked David Hammock, he shot of adrenaline on the offensive side of things, shot of adrenaline on the defensive side of things. And there we go, Kyler Dole playing with that shot of adrenaline as he takes an interception, almost took it to the house, but he's going to have to settle for red zone coverage as he is in the red zone.
About a 45-yard interception there from Dole, giving the Eagles some great field positioning, being right at about the Sublette 23-yard line here.
4:07 left in this third quarter.
Twins on the near side here for the Eagles, tied in on the far side. Dole motions over Hamke, gets a snap. The pitch to Hamke on the far side has an open gap. Can he get to that near pylon? He will break a tackle, have one spin move. Will they call him in? They will not.
And we got a yellow hanky on the play. So we have a touchdown which will be on Hamke. However, we've got the yellow hankies on, so let's see what that's. And it's going to be a penalty on Ellenwood.
Another penalty there on Ellenwood, costing them on a play that could have been big there. The Eagles will bring the ball back and have to try and regain their great field possession.
And just like that, as we mentioned, penalties are starting to kill Sublette a little bit in the first half. Penalties throughout this entire game is something that Ellenwood's going to need to work on next week as they take on Ellis, a team that will be much more sound on both offensive and defensive sides of the ball.
Don't know what the exact penalty was. Frustration shown here by the Eagle players. Looks to be brought back about 7 yards.
Holding call on Ellenwood, so it will remain first down, but it will move them back quite a bit. So, whoa, that is going to be quite, more like first and 25. So it might have been a block in the back instead of a holding. Those calls are somewhat similar.
The Eagles now at the Sublette 39 here, trying to make something happen and regain field positioning. Trips bunched up on the near side here for the Eagles. Saw this formation a lot of lacrosse. Dole rolling out to the near side, finds his man, and Hammocky on the screen pass. Hammocky now looking for end zone. Makes one man miss, and he'll get in there right on the inside pylon as David Hammocky off of that what looks to be 39-yard touchdown reception there from Dole.
39-yarder.
Your score now moves to 22 for your Ellenwood Eagles.
Dole to Hammocky. That was the second touchdown. One of them was a 15-yarder. So we got a 39-yarder and a 15-yarder. Let's get it all up and ready here for the Christopher Nielsen extra point attempt.
With that touchdown, the Eagles lead the Sublette Larks by a score of 22-8. Could be 23-8 here if Christopher Nielsen can sink this extra point attempt. Snap here, the kick is up, and that looks to be completely good.
And it's good.
Going way past the track there for the Eagles. The Eagles now leading the Sublette Larks 23-8 here, still in quarter number 3.
What a score there. And again, that's exactly what Ellenwood's going to want for this football game.
David Hammocky playing a pivotal role here in this game against Sublette after winning Homecoming King. Your homecoming candidates were David Hammocky for King and Nayeli Mendez for Queen. Congratulations to both of them. Definitely pumped David Hammocky up here for this game.
Definitely, because he's got all 3 of Ellenwood's touchdowns tonight. He's got the kickoff return from 85 yards out, the 15-yard touchdown, and then the 39-yard touchdown. All of them are his.
Eagles off, trying to gain momentum still here as the Eagles are set to kick off here with Nielsen once again getting ready to kick off, and the Sublette receiving team out here as we will see once again, like we saw all night, Thornton and Hernandez back to receive here for the Sublette Larks.
We're pretty much confirming that we're not going to see Williamson at all tonight, as it is kickoff, which means he's going to get the ball next, but his helmet is nowhere near him. He's standing right about the 45.
The kick here from Nielsen looks to be a squib kick here as the Sublette Larks are just going to fall on it. That will start their offensive drive right at about the Sublette Lark 33-yard line.
A smart move there for Sublette, as it looked like they were going to get pretty much bombarded really quickly by a whole bunch of Ellenwood Eagles.
Offensive drive here for the Larks. Once again, Miguel Hernandez coming in for Bryce Williamson, as Bryce Williamson is out on the sideline with an injury. Hopefully he is all right, but the game will move on here in quarter number 3. First down and 10 for Hernandez and the Larks. Twins on the near side here. Twins on the far side. Hernandez in the shotgun formation here. Gets the snap, drops back 3 yards to pass. Rolling out to the far side. There is a flag on the play, folks. Hernandez still going, but he's going to be out of bounds right at about the line of scrimmage.
So there we go. We got a flag in the backfield. Let's see what the back judge saw.
Holding on Sublette. That will move them back, as it will be probably first and about 20 here.
The K-Preps game of the week, Phillipsburg and Plainville. Third quarter, 4:38 to go. They're tied at 7. And in the war on K-24, Rossville down 1 to Silver Lake. That score, 14-13 in favor of the Silver Lake Eagles.
First down and about what looks to be 15 here for Sublette. They're going to move it back a little further now.
That Rossville Silver Lake game comes with 8:48 in the fourth. So things quickly starting to get close to wrapping up there in Rossville.
First and about 20 here for the Larks. Definitely dug themselves a hole here. Twins on the near side, single receiver to the far side, gets a snap, keeps it himself, looking to go up the middle, but he's going to be stopped there by number 12 for Ellenwood, being Devin Comark, as they will enter second down and about 20 still.
And Comark again, only a sophomore for that Ellenwood Eagle team, so Colmark and Bramer on the defensive side of things going to look to be a really good duo in these next 2 years.
Timeout here by Sublette as Ellenwood is definitely pumped up here in this third quarter. The Eagles lead the Sublette Larks with a score of 23-8 as the Larks are backed up in their own territory.
56 seconds left in this third quarter. Sublette trying to find some offensive solutions here, trying to get another score on the board, make this game competitive again. They're only off by 2 touchdowns. The score is right now 23-8, as it was 8-3 at one point. As in the first quarter, Williamson passed it over to Watson. The Williamson 2-point rush was good and made the score 8-3. Then, in the ensuing play, David Hammocky got a kickoff return for 85 yards on the score, and the extra point was no good, 9-8. Then the second quarter, Dola Hammock got a 15-yard pass. Nielsen's extra point was good, made it 16-8. And finally, in the third, it was Dola Hammock on a 39-yarder. The extra point was good, and it's now 23-8. Caleb, you good? You want me to take over for this play?
No, I'm good.
Okay, good.
Second down and about 20 here for the Larks. Twins on the near side. Twins on the far side here. Ball right at about the 25-yard line. Hernandez drops back looking far side. Can't find anyone. He's going to be brought down there. Oh, never mind. He's still up on his feet. My apologies, folks. He's going to make something happen here. In my point of view, it looked like he was brought down by number 84, but he was able to escape and try and make something out of the play.
Exactly who number 84 is a good question. I'm starting to wonder if that's Tyler Canope. So I am not seeing him. Oh, wait, no, never mind. He is on the sideline. He was injured last week, so he did not play. And I'm trying to still figure out who that number 84 is.
Third down and about 15 now for the Larks.
Another.
Looks like we have another timeout on our hands here.
Or it could be the end of the third. We really don't know.
Once again, with no scoreboard, typically it's hard to tell how much time we have left with quarters. So, if I were to guess, it would probably be the end of the third. Officials timeout for injury, PA Mark Cook just said over the intercom. So,
don't know who, which team that was, but interesting to see who. But speaking of injury, it'd be interesting to see that we now have Colby Hines in there. So it might have been Ellenwood who had that injury.
Third down and about 15 here for Hernandez and the Larks here. Twins on both sides. Drops back to pass. Looking over the middle. He has a man open. That's going to be intercepted there by who looks like Niles on the far side. It will be Niles. The Larks had a new quarterback in that I didn't notice, being Albie Perez, a senior. But nonetheless, the Eagles cause a turnover by the interception by Ryan Niles.
So we have so it looked like the injury was on. Sublette to lose 2 quarterbacks that quick, never good.
Bringing about Ellenwood's offensive drive here, 1st and 10, starting right at their own 49-yard line here. Still the third quarter, presumably. Twins on the near side here for the Eagles. Tight end on the far side for Ellenwood. Dole still in the shotgun formation. He's been there all game. Motion here from Hammocky. Dole's going to hand that off to Niles. Niles cutting it up the middle. Looks like to be a gain of about 4 there on the ground after he made the interception on defense last play.
Second down, 6 now for Ellenwood. Looks like we're very close to nearing the end of the third. On a Sublette timeout, we had like 36 seconds left to go. So it'll be interesting to see when exactly we're going to be popping into a end of quarter discussion.
Wouldn't be surprised if the Eagles keep it on the ground just to drain the rest of this clock out and head into the fourth quarter. Twins on the near side, single tight end to the far side. Dole's going to keep it himself, makes one man miss. Going on the far side, makes 3 people miss. He's got a lot of room to work with. Definitely a first down there for Dole.
Well, it looks like we got a skirmish with a football here at the very end. It looked like maybe Sublette would have got it, but let's see what the referees are going to say. We're going to move the chain, so it appears Ellenwood first down. The ball popped out of play after Dole was out of bounds. Not out of bounds, I should say, when he was down.
Fresh set of downs here for the Eagles. 1st and 10 in Sublette Lark territory, right at about the Sublette 37. Trips bunched up on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Dole now gets a snap, rolls out to the near side, looking for his man and Klepper. Klepper tried to bring that in with his outside right hand, but he couldn't there.
He was stretched out trying to get something, as he was just it wasn't that far out from him, but the way he had his arms stretched out was the hard part for him.
Last week in lacrosse, the Eagles tried to target Lane Klepper on short passes on the sidelines, and there he wasn't able to convert, bringing up 2nd down and 10 here for the Ellenwood Eagles. Dole now looks to be coming off of the sideline here. Looks like David Hammocky will be set back to receive the snap. He will drop back and keep it himself on the ground in a wildcat formation. It seems to be a great play call there by the Eagles, as Hammocky's going to enter the end zone for the 4th time tonight as the Eagles tack on 6 more.
Your score now should be 29-8. You're still in the 3rd quarter, so Hammocky's going to run that all the way up from how many yards exactly?
Looked to be about a 37-yard rush there by Hammocky in the wildcat formation. Great play call there by Alex Burney, as the Eagles now lead by a score of 29-8. Extra point attempt here going to come up from Christopher Nielsen.
39 seconds left in this quarter, by the way. The kick was blocked. It'll be no good, unfortunately, as Sublette was able to get in that backfield and take it out. The score will remain at 29-8.
David Hammocky finding the end zone for the 4th time tonight. Definitely proud of himself here so far, having a great night to himself after winning Homecoming King, as the Eagles will bring their kickoff team out on the field once again.
Christopher Nielsen, man, he's done such a great job tonight, as you know. One of his extra points blocked, so right now he is at 2 for 4 on the XPs, and he's got a 35-yarder to his name. What a name he's making for himself already, week 2.
Great play call there once again by Alex Burney. I was wondering where the play was going when they brought Kyler Dole off the sideline. I didn't see that play last week at lacrosse. Definitely the first time seeing that this season for the Eagles, and it definitely showed to pay off there as they found a way to the end zone. Eagles set to kick off once again with Christopher Nielsen, his name being brought up a lot in tonight's game. He's been mainly doing great kicking the ball off wides for punts and for extra points and for regular field goal attempts, as he will kick this one off once again.
Something Ellenwood hasn't had in years past, and it's good to have finally here for Ellenwood. I know they've been wanting to have a kicker for quite some time, and they finally got one in Christopher Nielsen. The unfortunate part, he's only here for a year. He's a foreign exchange student, but still good to have a kicker here.
Deep back to receive for the Larks is number 22, Thornton, and number 11, Hernandez. There's a flag on the play, presumably going to be a flag on Nielsen for kicking the ball out of bounds on the kickoff.
They'll head out at the 10, but they will move that one more than likely to 15 or 20 on the penalty.
The Larks now will start their offensive drive here, probably to close out the 3rd quarter, right at about their own 15-yard line here.
Well, and there in the reflection is our play-by-play broadcaster, Caleb Bookout. Caleb, you're unintentionally being broadcasted live alongside some defense. So, due to that, it's going to be moved all the way to the 35, as it's 39 left on this clock. So I guess it'd be the touchback plus 15 yards. So go from the 20 to the 35, I would say. And that's why they're putting it at the 35. However, the defense as is, they'll be able to do some good things, in my opinion, here with this offensive drive to close out the 3rd.
The Larks now coming out on this drive. Now it does look to be Hernandez set to take the snap with twins on the near side. Single receiver to the far side, rolling back, dropping back for about 5 yards. Looks to find his man in Perez, and he will fall down right at about the Sublette 45. Really close there to the 1st down marker.
Again, Sublette on their third quarterback of the night. The first one, Williamson going out with injury. The second one, the third one, Hernandez also went out with injury. And now they are on. Who are they on again, Caleb? Are they on?
They're back on Hernandez, but earlier they had Perez throwing some. So
okay.
They're back to Hernandez with Williamson being out.
Well, when they had Perez in there, that was there was one time, and it was the interception there that Niles made.
Second down and about inches here for the Larks. The Eagles need to make sure that they watch the ball here. They're actually going to signal a first down.
So it wasn't going to be second in the shoebox. I was going to bring out my good term from Color Com when I was doing it with Doug Bender on it, old school 1079, but second in the shoebox and there's less than a yard to go. Makes
Hernandez there finds Thornton for what looks to be a gain of about 8, bringing them into Ellenwood territory, and Thornton looks a little slow to be getting up.
He is. Ryan Niles there on the tackle, and I noticed Niles has like gold cleats. Like the bottom of his cleats are gold. Noticed that on the tackle. Thornton still slow to get up. He's now got the athletic trainer out there while looking at him. And this one focusing on his leg. And only one more play will be ran in this third quarter. There's only 1 second left in it.
Earlier in the game, we obviously saw Bryce Williamson head out with injury. And now we will more than likely be seeing Thornton also heading out with injury. So hopefully he's doing all right.
You hate to see that happen mainly because for Sublette, as good as a team like them, you know, they have a chance for some wins. You know, I think it'd be safe to say that Ellenwood's going to win this one tonight. But, you know, they have Syracuse later on down in the road. They have, let me pull up their schedule. They got Elkhart next week. Elkhart, I believe, is 0-1 already. They played the Cimarron Blue Jays last week. Let's see if I can pull that schedule up. But, again, I mean, as with the team that's returning, 10 on both the offensive and defensive sides of the ball. Injuries like what we saw with Williamson, like what we're seeing with Randall's. You know, it's never really a good situation as is. Usually I pan to the scoreboard, but that's right now on the fritz currently, so can't really pan over to that. Said your Ellenwood Eagle defense there taking a knee for the injured Randalls of Sublette.
Sublette definitely making a large jump from last year compared to this year. Lance Carter entering his second year and gaining more experience for his team and his offense and defense, and it's definitely shown here tonight in how the Larks have been playing.
I mean, with Sublette, I mean, I think their losing streak is going to end this year. I mean, it's not going to end tonight. And I think if you're Ellenwood, you're happy to see that you get a victory and you go 1-1 on your season. But you look at their season going forward. They have Syracuse week 4, and they're going to be, you know, that program is they've been kind of bellwether, I guess, kind of mediocre. They went 4-4 last year. You've got Stanton County, which is under a second-year head coach in Brett Kendrick. They're taking on Lakin right now, and they're probably going to go 0-2 on the season. Then you've got alongside that Inman, who's right now 0-2. You've got Meade, who is battling some numbers. Randall's able to get off of the field, but being helped by both assistant coaches. Looks like it's a for sure definite leg injury, something not too good to see, as the Ellenwood crowd really giving him some support. And that's the end of the 3. So through 3 quarters, your score: Sublette 8, Ellenwood 29.
Sublette coming back. When they come back from this break in the quarter, we'll have a 2nd and 2 opportunity. Hopefully Williamson and Thornton are okay there for the Larks. The Eagles trying to keep up this momentum and tempo here, trying to keep this lead for 29-8. The Eagles doing a great job defensively, especially their defensive line tonight. Their defensive line has definitely came out and showed up to play here. So the Eagles now still in the huddle here, about to enter the 4th quarter, the last quarter of play here for this homecoming game.
Final quarter of play again, and final quarter that we're going to have a a non-working scoreboard this year. Hopefully that they'll have it fixed before next week, but when they take on the Ellis Railers. A little bit of a preview on that Ellis Railer team. Ty Cass in his first year as head coach for the Railers, assisted by former Holcomb Longhorn state champion quarterback Trey Teeter. He want to do some really good things down there as the Craig Amorine era is over in Ellis. We'll talk a little bit more about that during the fourth quarter.
Both teams back out on the field here. The Larks have twins on both sides. Hernandez gets a snap, drops back about 7 yards, finds his teammate there in number 20, Morales, as he's fighting for extra yards, still not brought down, as he will finally be brought down after achieving the first down right at about the 35. Morales having himself a few receptions here tonight. Definitely someone that's very hard to bring down for this Eagles defense, and that will move the chains for Sublette, bringing up a fresh set of downs with 1st and 10.
Speaking of Sublette, they got 10 returning starters in both offense and defense. Ellis returning 8 on both offense and defense. That's who Ellenwood sees next week.
Last year, Ellenwood surprised many folks when they defeated Ellis in Ellis, so hopefully the Eagles can repeat what they did last year next week.
Of course, Ellis is going to be looking for revenge big time.
Sublette now, twins on the near side, twins on the far side. Here's a snap to Hernandez. He hands it off there, but that's going to be Gage Hossman wrapping him up in the ankles, and that will be a loss of yards there off of the great defensive play by the Eagles.
Good move there by Hossman. Hossman and Hernandez are both on the tackle for Ellenwood, so make it 2nd down, and I'm about to say about 15-16 there on the play.
Tanner Randall's there with the handoff carry there, losing a couple on that play, as this will now be 2nd down and about 14 here for the Larks. Twins on the near side, twins on the far side. Hernandez once again in the shotgun formation. Gets a snap here, drops back about 6 yards, getting pressure now, trying to find some space up the middle, which he will. Makes one man miss. David Hammocky grabs him by the cleats as he dives for 2 extra yards now. Brought down right at about the 28-yard line there in Ellenwood territory. 4th down and a shoebox, as Alex Hammocky would say here, as the Eagles look for a big stop to cause a great defensive outing and trying to regain this ball on offense.
Good to see my verbiage is moving on to other broadcasters.
I think I might just use that now often. 4th and a shoebox.
Awesome.
Just don't copyright it or anything.
No, I won't. Don't worry.
4th down here for the Larks. Twins on the near side. Twins on the far side. Good awareness by the Eagles to watch the snap count. Hernandez drops back about 5 yards, rolling out to the far side. He throws to his man on the far sideline. We'll have to see if he caught that falling out of bounds.
Referee pointed at the spot, and we're going to see it be turned over on downs. It'll be Ellenwood Eagle football. I was about to say Ellenwood Eagle basketball for some reason, but Ellenwood Eagle football here in the fourth quarter to start off.
The Ellenwood Eagles will start this offensive drive in the fourth right about their own 28-yard line here. Ellenwood still has their starters in for this game. Score of 29-8, the Ellenwood Eagles lead the Sublette Larks. Great defensive stop there on 4th and a shoebox there by Sublette. Great defensive awareness to watch the ball as the Eagles come out now with twins on the near side. Tight end on the far side, single receiver over there. Motion here coming from Hammocky, call by Dole. Dole rolling out to the far side, maybe a messed up play, but he's going to make the most out of it after gaining potentially only about 1 yard.
1 or 2 yards there, the only gain that Dole's going to make. Now they're going to move at the length of a shoebox, so it's going to be 2nd down, 9 yards and 2 feet.
Looks like they kind of had a miscommunication there on the play call. I think Dole looked to pitch it to Hammocky, but Hammocky was too far on the far side, so Dole just kept it.
And it looked at the same time that Sublette also had a little bit of a far side blitz work in there too.
Twins on the near side here for Ellenwood. Twins on the far side. Niles next to Dole in the shotgun formation. The snap to Dole as he rolls out to the far side. Looking down the field, he has Hammocky. Hammocky comes up with it, but he's going to fumble, pick it back up, and he's going to gain about 7 yards after dropping the ball.
So that was almost a fumble, but then Hammocky gets another couple of yards after picking up because he caught it. He caught it, then lost control of it, then re-caught it again, and then got a couple more yards, and that was a very impressive play there by David Hammocky.
That will move the chains for the Eagles. David Hammocky has been making a lot of impressive plays all night. Already found the end zone 4 times tonight. Potentially could be looking for 5 times here on this offensive drive. Single receiver to the near side. Twins to the far side. Tight end also on the near side here for the Eagles. Hammocky in motion. The handoff is to Hammocky. Hammocky bringing it to this far Eagle sideline here. This near Eagle sideline, as he's going to be brought down right at about the Sublette 45.
So you're going to make a couple of yards on that, and not much, however. The thing there with Hammocky there is he's running outside pretty far, taking a couple yards back, and then coming in for that final push on the sideline. That's when really your defense, for a defensive, you're talking like an Ellis or a Lakin or a Cimarron, they'll burn you on that pretty easy.
Second down and about 6 here for the Eagles as they've entered Sublette territory. Twins on the far and the near side here for Kyler Dole and company. Kyler gets a snap, 3-yard drop back, looking far side, deep heave to Hammocky. Hammocky has it on the far sideline, makes one man miss, and he'll find the end zone for 5. Count it 5 times on the evening, bringing this score to 35-8 here as Ellenwood finds the end zone once again. Boom goes the dynamite.
45-yard touchdown there from Dole to Hammocky, the 3rd passing touchdown tonight, and it's the same connection.
Hammocky definitely having himself a night tonight. Christopher Nielsen now running onto the field for the extra point attempt here, hopefully to make this a 36-8 ball game here. Hammocky winning homecoming king earlier before the game, and that definitely boosted his playing ability as the kick is up, and it looks to be good for my view, which it is. The Eagles now lead the Sublette Larks by a score of 36-8 in this 4th quarter.
See if we get a time stamp here from Ellenwood PA announcer Mark Cook, but unfortunately it does not appear that we will. But 36-8 currently the score between Ellenwood and Sublette, and Ellenwood just pouring it on here in this 4th quarter.
David Hammocky, definitely one of the main contributors to this Ellenwood offense. Also defensively, he's had some big stops tonight at that safety position. David Hammocky definitely having himself a great night here tonight. Probably going to have the same kind of feel for the rest of the season here for the Eagles. Sublette Larks return out of their huddle. Same with the Eagles as the Eagles are set to kick off here to Sublette. Deep back to receive this kickoff here for the Larks looks to be number 11, Miguel Hernandez, and now it looks to be number 13, Perez. Thornton was there in place of Perez, but he did get injured, so that will allow Perez to come in on the kickoff return team. Don't know how much time we have left without having a working scoreboard, but still about midway through the 4th quarter, I'd guess, as the kick from Nielsen is up. Has a lot of backwards motion on that. Backspin here as it is recovered there by the Larks. Number 42 being Anthony Narinja as he returns that kick for about 7 yards.
Narinja with his first touch of the ball tonight. Going to put this one at about the 33-yard line.
Sublette will start this offensive drive at their own 33, looking to make it into Ellenwood territory. Hernandez here, Miguel Hernandez, that being still the quarterback here for the Larks, as Bryce Williamson is out for the game with an injury, with his helmet off. Potentially could lead to a concussion, potentially.
We're thinking up here in the press box it's either concussion or shoulder injury that they want to look at further when they get back home.
Twins on both sides as Hernandez gets a snap. Screen pass over there to Martinez. Martinez trying to make something happen. Breaks 2 tackles there. Going down the sideline. My apologies. Martinez now, he's going to find the end zone there for Sublette. Alex Burney showing a lot of frustration there to the referee, but Sublette will find the end zone nonetheless.
Sublette will find that one. It will be a 65-yard touchdown, I'd say, for Hernandez.
36-14 now for the Eagles off of that large screen pass touchdown there by Sublette.
Looks like we might have had a couple of injuries. We had Colby Hines, who he was slow to get off the field, and then for Sublette, offensive lineman, I believe it was number 75, Eric Quezada. He also was, I don't know why we are focused on the window. We're focused on the window. There we go. That fixed everything. Sorry about that, folks.
Looks to be as if the Larks are going for 2 here. Trips on the far side, single receiver to the near side. Hernandez now 5-yard drop back as he finds Martinez again trying to get in the end zone for the 2-point conversion, but he'll be stopped by David Hamke on the far side.
7:23 left in this fourth quarter.
Really thankful to have our PA announcer Mark Cook as he keeps us updated on the time we have left in this game, as the Eagles kick team will come out onto the field once again to return a kick from Sublette.
That was a passing touchdown, correct?
Correct. Screen pass over to the far side. The Larks down by 22. Hoping to crawl back out of this deficit that they've created themselves. The Eagles desperately looking for their first win of the season, same as Sublette. Homecoming game here for the Eagles, trying to give their hometown crowd a win here.
That was Hernandez on the pass, or excuse me, Hernandez Martinez. Correct, right? Was that?
Martinez, number 7.
Okay.
The Sublette kickoff team now coming out onto the field. Deep back to receive for the Eagles is the same lineup we've saw since week 1. Niles and Hernandez, also with Hamke deep back to receive here. Set to kick off here for Sublette. Looks to be number 8, Brian Hernandez, a sophomore at Sublette. 7:23 left in this fourth quarter as the Eagles look to close out this game and clinch their first win of the regular season and head on to take on Ellis at home next week.
That Ellis team taking on TMP. Last score that we had, second quarter, was TMP 12, Ellis 7.
Hamke now picks it up off the ground, bringing it over to the near side. He has a hole once again. He brought one back earlier tonight, looking to do the same again. He's going to be brought down at the Sublette 49. Great reception there from Hamke, giving the Eagles great field positioning.
The tackle there made between 2 people, Anthony Morales and Miguel Hernandez there on the tackle for Sublette, and is in Sublette territory.
Another offensive drive here for the Ellenwood Eagles. 1st and 10 taking over at the Sublette 49, trying to find the end zone before this fourth quarter's over. Single receiver, Twins on the near side. Single tied in over there on the far side. Niles in the backfield next to Dole in the shotgun formation. The snap to Dole, as we're going to see another flag on the play, perhaps an offsides call. False start on the Eagles. That will push them back even further.
Well, and it's going to make a very interesting defensive change for Sublette. As right as that was, that call was, yellow hanky was thrown, we saw Andrew Hall, a 200-pound, 5'8" offensive line freshman, coming into the game here for it was number. We find him here. I believe he was coming in for Damian Badillo, a 250-pound, 5'11" junior junior defensive lineman, I should say.
Snap to Dole, hands it off to Hammocky, off the motion, going to the far sideline. He's going to be brought down right at about the original marker at the line of scrimmage. So this will bring about perhaps 2nd and 10 here for Eagles off the run by Hammocky.
Well, here's the thing with Ellenwood. I mean, they can do all that this week, and they'll be okay with it. However, next week they take on Ellis. Then the week after they'll take on Lakin. That won't happen. If anything, it'll just be a 1 or 2 yard gain there when they have the penalty, and then you'll still be dealing with a 2nd down 12, 3rd down 11, or 3rd down 9 situation. It'll be 3rd and long, and that's not a reasonable 3rd down situation there for the Eagles.
Tough stretch in the schedule there for the Eagles after this week, as we have a single receiver on the near side, twins on the far side, that single receiver being Klepper. Dole keeps it on the ground here, breaks 2 tackles after finally being brought down for a gain of about 1, bringing up 3rd down and about 8 for the Eagles.
One of those tacklers, I believe, was Maverick Stapleton there for the Sublette Larks.
Wouldn't be surprised if we see a pass here from Dole, bringing up a 3rd and 8 situation at the Sublette Lark 47-yard line.
You mentioned that tough stretch. We've got Ellis next week and then Lakin the week after to start district play. Both those games at home. Then a 2-game road stretch of Rice County as we're at Lyons next week and then at Sterling. Final home game versus Southwestern Heights, and then wrap up the season, we are at Cimarron.
Flag on the play there as Dole threw an incomplete pass rolling out to the far side. Just threw it out of bounds there. Flag came before the throw.
False start on Ellenwood. And then in week 9, Ellenwood could see either Minneapolis, TMP, Ellsworth, Hoisington, Norton, or Phillipsburg in that week 9 matchup. And they're the top 4 of their district. They'll move on to playoffs. They're in the bottom 2. They will be in a week 9 rum-dum game, as they would call it. Week 9, that was the case as they took on Minneapolis at Minneapolis. This year, the game will be at home for those rum-dum games. And again, the higher seed will take it if they go on to the playoffs.
3rd down here for the Eagles. Looks to be about 3rd down and about 13 here. Off of the false start call there on this Ellenwood offense. Say about probably 4 minutes left in this final quarter of this game. Trips, and it looks like what to be a bunch formation on the near side. Single receiver to the far side as Dole rolls out to the near side off the snap. He heaves one deep. He has an open man, and Cody Zink, sophomore Cody Zink, trying to find the end zone, which he will. Can't be caught there, as Cody Zink will find his first varsity touchdown of the season, tacking on 6 more points there for the Eagles.
And what a good move there by Cody Zink. He's getting attacked as you got Dole there, who's right now he's almost getting sacked. Zink there was having some coverage there. Where was that from exactly?
Probably right at about the 40, so probably about a 55-yard passing touchdown there for the Eagles, as Christopher Nielsen is set to make another extra point attempt here for Ellenwood, bringing this score potentially to 43-14, which he will. The Eagles take a commanding lead, 43-14 here on homecoming night.
They're saying 42. They said that the PAT was good, right?
Yeah.
It should be 43. Yeah, 43-14, I believe. However, whatever the discrepancy is, I think will be solved at some point. So 4th quarter, 43-14 in this game between the Ellenwood Eagles and the Sublette Larks. And by golly, it's been quite a game for Ellenwood tonight.
Definitely a game that Ellenwood did need, as what it looks like they will clinch their first win of the season here. Still have time on this 4th quarter to play, but it's slowly starting to look like the Eagles will win their week 2 game. The receiving team and the kickoff team come out for both teams. Deep back to receive looks to be that same lineup we saw last time for the Larks. Hernandez, number 11, and Perez, number 13 for the Larks. Once again, we'll see Christopher Nielsen from Sweden set to kick off here for the Ellenwood Eagles.
He's got quite the leg. Good to have him here in Ellenwood for the year.
Made some crucial extra point attempts and made himself his own long field goal attempt here as the kick is up. Has backspin here as it's going to be received by Hernandez. Hernandez now cutting it back to the far sideline. He has room to work with. Nielsen can't make a tackle there as they are going to answer very quickly, and they will find the end zone. Perez there, what looked to be an 80-yard kickoff return touchdown as Sublette answers right back.
Let me see here. Albie Perez.
Yep.
You said from how many yards out again?
80.
80. 80-yard.
Sublette now, that brings their score up to 20. The Eagles lead the Sublette Larks 43-20 here. That's what we have in the broadcast booth. Looks like the Larks will be set to try to gain 2 more here, not kicking the extra point, but they're going for it.
I see a timeout. Looks like this one is going to be on Ellenwood. Let's see here. Yes, it will. So timeout Ellenwood. Give us a 5:58?
Yep.
5:58 left. So it is 43-20. They've corrected their mistakes in the scorer's booth. As the score now 43-20 as the Eagles leading the Larks. 23-point lead for Ellenwood currently. And that made 2-point conversion will make it 21. So 3 scores exactly with 5:58 to go left in this fourth quarter. That's what Sublette would need to do in order to at least tie this ball game up. A fourth one would win it.
Lining up to go for it for 2 here, the Larks. They have trips on the far side, single receiver to that near side. That single receiver being Hernandez, Brian Hernandez, that is. Miguel Hernandez set to roll out to the far side and pass off to his teammate. That is definitely not going to be the 2 extra points there, as the Eagles will be set to receive the kick from Sublette.
They got a final score. Central Plains falling to 0-2 on the season. That's a big surprise. If you look at it, not too surprised, but still a score of 50-14. Next week they'll take on the Kinsley Coyotes. Hopefully they'll be able to get back on their feet and get in the win column in this early season for them. But 50-14, Victoria defeats Central Plains. It's crazy to think that we might have a better record than Central Plains 2 weeks already in the season.
That is kind of mind-boggling because ever since I've been around, Central Plains has really been the most dominant team, I'd say, around this area that I've seen in multiple sports. So
No doubt about it. I mean, and again, I'm going to harp about my graduating class of 2019, as I like doing. I mean, that the senior class up there at Central Plains did so great. I mean, Miles Mendes, he's moving on. He's playing football for the Tigers. Tigers fell to Missouri Western last night. Bit of a surprise there. Devin Ryan, Brett Liebel, and Alex Hickel. And then on the lines, you lose some really good players there. Is Mason Dole. He's no longer. Grant Heldstab, he's no longer there. So you lose quite a bit of starters, both on the offensive side and the defensive side. So for Central Plains to go to 0-2 on the season, not too surprising, but also kind of surprising because it's not what we expect out of Central Plains, it seems. But football-wise, the women's side, they're going to win another championship, no doubt about it. They still got Emily Ryan. Emily's committed to Iowa State, so she's going to have a very long and promising career ahead of her names.
Definitely a change there for Central Plains as the kick from number 8 being Brian Hernandez is kicked off. The Eagles are just going to kneel down and pick up the football there. Look to be Niles there to receive, and the Eagles will start another offensive drive with about 5:58 left to go in this fourth quarter.
And a couple of score updates here. Otis Bison defeating the Buckland Red Aces 42-14. Currently in, I believe it's the fourth quarter. We have the fourth quarter, 14-3. The Scott City Beavers leading the Holcomb Longhorns. A couple of losing streaks in high school football have ended. Rock Creek snapping a 10-game losing streak. They defeated St. Mary's 44-6 tonight. We'll get to the second one next.
Motion here from Hammocky from the far side. He's going to bring it over here to the near side. He has a lot of room to work with. Hammocky looking for his 6th touchdown tonight. He can't get it as he's brought down right at about the 45. Hammocky, now he's slow to get up.
Well, he was cramping a bit last week. Hopefully it's just some cramps like what we saw last week out of him. Shawnee Mission West ends their 20-game losing streak. They got a 21-7 win over Shawnee Mission South tonight.
Multiple players last week at La Crosse had multiple cramps for this Ellenwood team. Seems to be a reoccurring problem for these players. Hammocky's already back up. Looks to be something wrong with his right leg. Hopefully they're able to figure out what's wrong, and hopefully he's all right. But with that, we're going to have someone else subbed in here, presumably going to be number 21, Eli Hernandez for the Eagles.
Hernandez, a pretty speedy back. You hate to see Hammocky go down, and considering how great of a game that he's had tonight. But Hernandez going into the contest, he's got some speed to him. Something to watch out for.
Trips on the far side with the tight end. The handoff is going to be to Hernandez in his first major appearance in this varsity season so far. With his first run, he's going to gain a lot, but there is a flag on the play here.
We've got the yellow hankies out again, and we're going to see a holding call. That's what the back judge is referencing. Going to be a holding call on Ellenwood, so that nice long run that Hernandez had going to be wiped off the board.
Hernandez definitely needs to have a great showing in this time he has if he wants to gain more playing time on this varsity team. Holding there on the Eagles once again, going to bring them back as they seem to struggle with penalties this entire game.
They're working on Hammocky's lower right leg down on the sideline. The athletic trainer working on it, hope possibly maybe his knee. They're looking at his knee and lower leg, so hopefully it's nothing serious. As David Hammocky, you hope to see him back as he is looking to be one of the main offensive weapons for this Ellenwood Eagle football team this fall.
Twins on the near side, single receiver to the far side with a tight end on the far side. Dole patiently awaiting the call from the referee. Snap here to Dole. Low snap, hands it off to Hernandez once again. Hernandez trying to make something happen. Looks to be a gain of about 4 there on the ground by Eli Hernandez.
And some good news on the sideline. David Hammocky is up on his feet. He is not putting a lot of weight on that right leg, however.
With there being such time left in the fourth quarter, I wouldn't be surprised if Hammocky's done tonight just to be safe and not risk him being hurt again. Still limping on that right foot, but hopefully nothing too serious since he's up and walking on it.
But, he had one heck of a game tonight. 5 touchdowns for him. You hate to see it cut short to possibly get a 6, but hey, he's one of the main reasons why Ellenwood is so far ahead in this game right now.
Going to be a big contributor this whole season for the Eagles as Dole gets another low snap, hands it off to Hernandez. Hernandez pushing through to gain another 2 or 3 there, trying to desperately run out this clock here in this fourth quarter.
Ryan Garrett's in there on the tackle for Sublette as Ellenwood.
I think PA announcer Mr. Cook said 4 minutes to remain.
I have to agree with you on that comment. 4 minutes because it was 5:57 at the touchdown that was made by Albie Perez. Well, technically there was no time ran off between Perez and, was there? I don't know exactly.
That kind of felt like a long minute 58, but nonetheless, the Eagles come out here with twins on the near side, twins on the far side. The Eagles more in like an I formation this time with Hernandez directly behind Dole. Dole still in the shotgun formation, waiting for the signal from the back referee. Motions Niles now. He'll get the snap. We're probably going to see 2 flags here on the play.
Looks like we're going to, false start on Ellenwood. I was thinking it might have been encroachment on Sublette, but we will not be seeing that, unfortunately. I was thinking encroachment on Sublette. I saw them move first, but Ellenwood must have twitched and something like that. The problem that we're going to see here is that Ellenwood, with the scoreboard snafu, they've got a Junior Eagle football game tomorrow. Lots of happenings around Ellenwood tomorrow. We'll go through that in the next downtime.
I am PA announcing for that game, so hopefully That doesn't mess me up too bad as Dole gets a snap, drops back a few steps, and he's going to bullet one over to Klepper. Saw a lot of that in lacrosse, mainly tried that almost every single drive down there in lacrosse, and they're going to come up with a few yards, bringing up 4th and about 3.
We got to take down a couple of pages from the book of Mark Cook. PA announcer here to say that the time is pretty much as much as it can, but a lot of happenings in Ellenwood tomorrow, as the cross-country team will head to Wamego tomorrow. Good luck to them. Alongside it, good luck to the women's tennis team. They'll be heading to Great Bend in the Great Bend meet. That meet starts at 9 o'clock. It's one of the closest meets. And the volleyball team will be at the Ellsworth tournament all day tomorrow. So, again, pretty quick drive over to Ellsworth or Great Bend for Ellenwood tennis or volleyball. A longer drive to get to the cross country.
As Hernandez has a big run, and he's going to score his first varsity touchdown on the season. Bad to see Hammocky go out, but good to see Hernandez finally getting his shot in the game. That looked to be about a 47-yard run there by Hernandez to bring this score 49-20.
Sorry I was talking over you there on the call there, Caleb.
You're fine, you're fine. 47-yard run there by Hernandez, making the most out of his playing time he's got here. Like you were saying earlier, a very speedy back, hard for many defenses to catch up to him and to stop him there.
And it very much showed how that defense came into play, as it looks like we're going to see another PAT attempt from Christopher Nielsen. You know, I would be safe to say that Hammocky's night is done, unfortunately, but what a night he has had. As he's sitting down on the bench, his helmet on the other end of the bench, so it appears that Hammocky's night is over, but what a night he's had. Hopefully he's going to be healthy enough to play in next week's game versus Ellis, and hopefully it isn't too serious.
If this extra point is made, that will bring the Eagles' score to the big 50. If Nielsen can sink this extra point attempt.
The big 50.
Incredible Hulk's back, I see, as the extra point attempt is up, and it is good.
And we've hit the big 50.
The Eagles now lead the Larks 50-20 here, 30-point lead entering the last 3 minutes of the fourth quarter.
The big 50. I enjoy saying that. I just, oh, jeez.
Eagles kickoff team, we saw them quite frequently tonight, and we'll see them once again as they are going to come out and kick off to the Sublette Larks. It seems safe to say the Eagles will capture this win here in week 2. Sublette will fall to 0-2 as they take on Elkhart at Sublette next week. The Eagles take on Ellis here at home, and hopefully we finish this scoreboard debacle. So hopefully that will be fixed. If not, that'll just make my job harder once again.
For sure, I'm pretty sure that it will be solved hopefully by next week again. Lightning struck the scoreboard over the summer. We had a rather stormy summer in Ellenwood this summer, and lightning struck it, fried the motherboard, and the scoreboard is out of commission tonight.
Well, if we don't have any more lightning, I think we should be fine here in Ellenwood, Kansas.
Well, they got thunder snow, and that's something that it's snowing outside and you hear the rumble of thunder, and you kind of just, your eyes open a little bit more and you're like, wait, what? It's 24 degrees out. I'm not supposed to be hearing this, What's going on?
A place like Ellenwood will really keep you on your toes weather-wise.
You're right.
Nielsen set to kick off once again. Back deep to receive for the Larks seems to be the same two in Perez and Hernandez. Back deep to receive. Not sure exactly how much time is left in the fourth quarter, but the coaches up on top of the broadcasting booth half came down. So the game inching its way to close to being done. Kick here by Nielsen, received by Perez. Perez trying to cut it back here to the near side, which he will. He will be forced out of bounds there by what looks to be Nielsen and Ricker.
Whoa, and we're going to have some flags here on the play, as that was between Ricker and... Who was that, Perez who brought it back? the football was thrown back at Ricker, so we don't know. Ricker shoved, and then the football was thrown right back at him, right at the helmet. So we got an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, but this could be offsetting. You never know. I mean, things have been getting kind of tight and kind of down there on the sideline. They've been getting getting intense a little bit. So now we got a bit of a conference there going on between the head referee and the side judge, and it looks like we are going to have an unsportsmanlike conduct penalty.
Like you said, both teams were riled up there on the sideline.
So it will be unsportsmanlike on Sublette. That's going to move them back.
Aiden Ricker, a very tough player for the Eagles. He's mainly been the main anchor defensively ever since I was been watching last year. He was very great for the Eagles last year defensively, and so far this year he's been the same.
Very calm demeanor, too. I've never really seen that out of him. But, yeah, it can happen. I mean, when you're getting down there, and for sure we're not going to see David Hammock. He's taking his pads off. We're going to see another stoppage of play.
Timeout by Sublette.
And, of course, I mean, you're looking at it, Coach Carter's going to have to, keep his troops figuring something out as, now they're starting to, you got the unsportsmanlike conduct penalty, which is never a good sign. I mean, especially this late in the ball game when tempers are starting to flare a little bit. I'm surprised it wasn't offsetting because I thought the shove would have also counted for something. But you see a lot of shoving as well. So I very easily see that as a unsportsmanlike conduct. I'm surprised it wasn't. They weren't offsetting. But however, I mean. It was on Sublette, and again, penalties are what has been killing both teams tonight. Unfortunately, that's the thing that really has been it hasn't been the good thing. That's something that they need to work on for sure.
Penalties definitely harming both teams here tonight. On this offensive drive here for Sublette, twins on the near side, twins on the far side. The snap to Hernandez. Hernandez drops back a few steps, looking to go deep to his teammate. Overthrown there, intended for Brian Hernandez.
Yeah, Hernandez just a couple steps behind that pass, as that one couldn't get it.
Another flag on the play. Flags have been the name of the game tonight. See who this is on.
They've been throwing the yellow hankies around so much that, they're going to have to take them and get a good washing of them.
Back-to-back unsportsmanlike conduct call. This one is on the Eagles. Didn't really see where that was on that play. Didn't see a lot of unsportsmanlike conduct, but the refs definitely saw something that I didn't, I presume.
And it easily could be something verbal, too. You never know, but Aiden Bramer coming out, maybe he was the culprit. Not 100% sure. As most of the seniors have come out of the ball game. We're seeing a lot of JV in now.
Tyler Knope comes in after being injured last week. Went to the doctors and it was just a knee sprain. Could have been a torn meniscus. The defensive line for the Eagles coming up big as we see another flag, the third flag in a row. Kind of tired of seeing that thing flying around. Thing's been flying around more than the football has.
It's been flying more around than that one crop duster from last year. I haven't even mentioned the crop duster story, and we are so far into the fourth quarter. We've got another penalty. Now, the thing that doesn't help is that what was it?
Minute 57?
Minute 57. They're going to march it back. So it's going to be on Sublette. The thing that didn't help Sublette there is that they lost yardage on it because it went past the quarterback there. So right then and there, the defensive line swarming in as the offensive line is just barely trying to keep things in control. The linebackers start coming in there and pressuring the quarterback. As a penalty on Sublette quite a bit, 1st and 25.
Like you said, 1st and 25, a big hole for Sublette as they have twins on the far and the near side. Hernandez back in the shotgun formation, looking to his far side. He will go for the screen pass there to Ace Martinez. Martinez had a score earlier in the ball game, a 80-yard kickoff return. He found the end zone on that screen play. He only gained about 2.
And
another flag number 4 in a row. Potentially something verbal by Sublette.
Unsportsmanlike conduct on Sublette. That's the... that's the fourth unsportsmanlike in a row. The second... Let me think here. Yeah, second in a row on Sublette. 3 of the 4 had been on the Larks. It goes from 1st and 25. And I'm sure this is more than likely going to cause a loss in us. It's only going to be first down, but it's like...
First down in the whole field, it seems like. First down and probably about 35 to 40.
1st and 37, that's what the PA is saying. They're at the 21-yard line. I'd like to remind everybody, the original line of scrimmage is all the way at the 47. So quite a bit of yardage that Sublette has. And both of them appear to be verbal. That was the thing. If they would just kept their mouth shut, they would have been in a first down and 37 situation.
Hernandez facing pressure, bringing it to this near Eagle sideline. He's going to be brought down there by a flock of Eagles. Let's not see another flag, hopefully.
We're not going to see one. Tyler Stillstott's there gets the tackle for the Eagles. Stillstott's a freshman for the Eagles. We're seeing he's out there. Let me see who else. We got Austin Trimmer. He's back. He had a season-ending injury last year. Tyler Knope's out there. He was injured last year. Cooper Bailey, he's a freshman. He's out there alongside Matthew Cook. We're going to see number 84 come out of this ball game.
He's not on the roster.
Don't know who he is. And then you've also got Eli Hernandez out there. Coy Banke, he's also a freshman. So Ellenwood's put in the JV here for this final minute 57.
Twins on the near side, twins on the far side here for the Larks. A snap to Hernandez. Hernandez looking for his teammate there in number 8, Brian Hernandez. That Hernandez to Hernandez connection was not able to be completed, as this will bring about 3rd down and about 20.
And if it would have been caught, Cooper Bailey would have been really quick there to wrap up, as he was right there as that incomplete pass happened.
I don't think in my whole life have I saw 4 unsportsmanlike conducts in a row.
I mean, penalties have been killing Sublette tonight. And especially when they're unneeded, 3 of those 4, that's 45 yards.
3rd down here for the Larks. Trips on the far side. Hernandez going to the far side. He has his open teammate in Randles. Randles has some room to work with on the far side. He is going to try and find end zone. He will be pushed out of bounds there by the Eagles, bringing the Larks a first down off of about 3rd and 20.
Now, of course, one of those unsportsmanlikes was canceled by an Ellenwood unsportsmanlike, so really, all in all, 30 yards right there. On the tackle, it was Eli Hernandez who forced him out. Tyler Stillstott's got some contact before, but could not get the job done. But definitely slowed him down to get Hernandez to get him out.
The Larks now start 1st and down at the Ellenwood 32-yard line. Definitely a huge change of events from this whole drive, it seems like, as the Larks try and find the end zone before this game is complete. Trips on the near side. Single receiver to the far side. Hernandez looking near side again. He will have his teammate in Randles. Randles again looking for a big gain there. Typically the same play. They just flipped it over to the near side as he will be brought down in Ellenwood Eagle red zone territory.
Tyler Stillstott's again gets the tackle for the Ellenwood Eagles. That's the ball game. And your final score, Ellenwood the Big 50. As the Sublette Larks hit 14, and that's your final. Or wait.
50 to 20.
50 to 20. Oops. I did not get didn't add things up correctly. So 50-20, the final score, as Ellenwood goes and moves up to 1-1 on the season. They'll take on Ellis next week. The Sublette Larks will move to 0-2 on the season, and they will take on the Elkhart Wildcats. That game will be at Sublette. Ellenwood snaps a 5-game losing streak. Sublette extends their losing streak to 34.
The Eagles definitely tonight had a huge game. David Hammocky, before getting hurt, had himself a huge game. I think we found out he found the end zone 5 times tonight alone. He had a huge game after winning Homecoming King, and the Eagles came up for a big win here on their homecoming game, and they're definitely excited about it.
It's good to see Ellenwood with a homecoming victory. It also snaps a streak that Ellenwood has had of homecoming losses. Last year they lost the homecoming game. I believe the year before they might have also, let me think here, last year was their first year at 11-man, so they lost it. Then they lost to Ness City. And they lost that game. That would have been junior year, sophomore year. I'm trying to think here who they played. I think they played Gossel, maybe. They lost the sophomore year. They lost to, I think they lost to St. John actually, but 3 straight homecoming losses for Ellenwood. So that streak is snapped. So good snaps, good streak snappers here tonight for the Ellenwood Eagle football team.
Sublette not able to snap their streak of losing, though, but the Eagles able to come up victorious tonight. Next week, like Alex said, the Eagles take on Ellis at home. Sublette takes on Elkhart. That game will be played at Sublette. The Eagles tonight had a great showing here, hopefully trying to carry this momentum into next week.
You know, and talking about Sublette, I mean, they're a very good football team. They're a lot better than they were last year. They for sure will get a victory this year. Elkhart's circled on the schedule for them. You look at Meade, they're scheduled as well. You also look at Syracuse. So they're right there. You got 3 chances for Sublette to break that skid that they've got of 34 games, and they're bringing out the cart for I believe it was Thornton. So not a good situation there. As Thornton will be taken off of tonight's game in the Gator. Ellenwood will move to 1-1 on the season. Good to see that happen.
Yeah, the Sublette Larks definitely have made a jump compared from last year's talent and success to this year, gaining experience with all the returners they had this year, and for Lance Carter entering his 2nd year of coaching. You can definitely see how much they've improved as a team. They still have a little ways to go, but definitely what you want to see here from this football team.
So again, your final score, 50-20, Ellenwood over Sublette.
Well, that's going to do it for us here in the booth. Alex, thanks for coming and holding down the fort here with me. Thanks for being on Color. You did great.
Hey, thanks for having me on, Caleb. The first game that I've listened to you on Color, and you're doing a pretty good job. You're doing just about as good as I did.
Well, thank you very much. Next week, like we said, you can tune into the broadcast as the Eagles take on Ellis here at home, or you can come out to the game. For Alex Hammocky and Caleb Bookout, I'm here with you saying good night and go Eagles.